Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody? Happy Sunday. Back again for another stream. I love it. So I just dropped in the chat there that the raffle is live. Raffle is live as of today, so you can start buying your raffle tickets today. Link is pinned in the description. It's pinned in the chat. You guys can have at it. Who are we seeing here? I'm seeing Robin. Good morning. And Shrimp Father's here. Havoc. Boothie, good morning. Nathan's here. Mike. Nick. Good morning, good morning. Tin Talon's here. Good morning. Well, I guess I know everyone that's not at 3D Printopia today. Good morning, Cybertech, Jimmy John, Spectra, good morning. Seeing you guys pop in. I'm still waking up. Still waking up. I even got my headphones on and just realized that I'm not even using that. So we'll take those off, put it to the side. Yeah, good morning, folks. Back on the V0 today, but a little bit of housekeeping first. Chat is live, so if you're just joining in, there's a link in there to buy raffle tickets. So if you want to take home the V0 or the Prusa wire, or you want to win some filament, or any of the other 19 prizes that are out there on this raffle, please go and sign up and get some tickets. If you don't want to buy anything as far as, if you don't want to win anything as far as a printer or filament or anything like that, and you just want to help out, there is a donation link on there as well that you can donate directly to the nonprofit. So depending on what you want and what you like, there are options for everyone. How's that sound? I feel like my camera is a little bit low. Playing around on stream yesterday and getting some things cleaned up and organized in the workshop, and I had to redo my setup over here. Hey, good morning, Leonard. Yeah, so go ahead and exercise all of the things for the raffle. I'll go ahead and open up the giveaway for the filament giveaway as well. Let me get over there to that, and then I will drop that back into the chat for you all. Let's see. Do this and do that. And sorry, I should have done this before. I got a little bit behind. Again, just dragging this morning. You know how like when you go to work, you're just not feeling it every day? That's kind of one of those days. Just need a little bit of energy to get there. I think I'm just sad that I'm not at 3D Printopia this weekend. Okay, so that should be live for you all. Let's see if we can drop the link in. And great. Here is the link. Hey, Steve P, good morning. There's your link for your filament giveaway. I wish I could tag and pin more than one chat comment at a time, but it doesn't. And I think for right now, we'll pin the filament giveaway because I've got timers going where it'll remind you about the links for the raffle. So every 10 minutes or so, you'll see a link for the raffle. If you're here, you didn't catch it earlier, don't want to scroll back, just wait a little bit. Or you can, what's it called? Exclamation point raffle, and it will provide the link that way too. So you said some guy, I don't know. The wife asked, who's Reth? Reth is a super smart guy when it comes to filament input shaper and things like that inside Clipper. So he's kind of my go-to. He's got a few videos out there that I reference constantly, learning how to read input shaper graphs, how to set up input shaper, that kind of thing. And then he's also one of the founders of the nonprofit 3D Printing Elves with his wife, Voron Widow, who assists with that nonprofit. Both great people. I've met them a few times, had lunch with them, that kind of stuff. So great people out there putting this on for the community. Hey Icon, good morning. What did you miss? Havoc, you missed the filament giveaways pinned in chat, and then also the raffle link. If you just bang raffle or exclamation point raffle, it'll give you the link and you can sign up. Yeah, Rhett does have a voice for radio. He absolutely does. And he's actually going to be on the giveaway stream when we pick the winners on the raffle. So he'll be there so you can ask questions and talk and chat and all that kind of stuff. Morning, Petty. All right, let me take you over to where we are. So I've done some work throughout the week on the V0. This is it here. So this is the state we're in. I've had to, oh man, I've had to do a lot just to get to this point. So I spent probably 2 hours tweaking and refining the Z-axis to make sure that it is smooth and moving well without binding. Our panels came in, as you can see. So this is a vinyl wrap. Panels are from Happy Manufacturing. Cut an entire set of new panels for this. The others were a little bit hazy and whatnot, and I couldn't do that to you all. So Happy provided a full new set of panels and panels for the top hat. And so all of that will come with the machine itself. And then he made this vinyl sticker here so that we know who we are supporting. So that's that. I printed the stealth feet, the wide feet, as requested in the chat. That should provide some stability for this guy. If you don't like those, I do have the more stock stealth feet for the winter if you want those, and we can throw those on as well. Otherwise, I've installed portions of the tulip gantry, so you've got your A and B motors there, and that should be good to go. I've done the front idlers as well, so these are the tensioners. So you'll be able to see your tension adjustment will be here at the front instead of in the back with the giant knobs like on the stock machine. And then I've got the bed installed on the belted Z-axis. So I did end up getting the motor for the Z-axis, and that'll be a little hard to show you. But I got the G2Z kit and forgot to get a motor. So motor's installed now with your power inlet as well. So I need to finish up the Z-chain stuff. I didn't get too far on that part yesterday, but just about everything else is there. So I'm pseudo following what we're doing on the V0 build guide, but a lot of it is so different that I can't follow it verbatim. So I will show you where I'm at over there. So I've done all of this. This is just building the frame, making sure that you have no drop nuts in the places that you want it to be. I plan to use, what are they called? The fast click panels. So I don't need nuts in the frame to be able to do that. And that's, in my opinion, a little better. So it'll be easier to take the panels on and off. And this is what I got through yesterday. So I'm not using any of this stuff because we are using that tulip gantry, which the benefit is you'll have pinned idlers. So it'll be a lot more, I guess, rigid. You'll be able to run a slightly higher belt tension on your parts. It also provides double shear for your motors, so there's less chance of bending those over time. And again, you're working with plastic parts, so you can't go too high in belt tension. We should be able to run a little bit higher belt tension if you so choose. You could do, what's it called? GT3 belts on there, which are a little bit rigid and require a little bit higher belt tension. So you could do that. And I think that's the plan for this. I just need to find some more GT3 belt. I know I've got it somewhere. So if we get to that today, we will attack it. So I'm basically skipping through all of that. This is kind of where we are. I've done these front idlers as well for the tulip gantry. Things seem to be aligned visually per the manual here. And yeah, this is kind of where we are. So next it has us do the Z-axis. Like I said, I've already done that before. We are using that belted Z. So again, this entire section doesn't really apply to what we're doing. So realistically, we can go all the way down here to the feet. right here is where I installed all your stealth feet, and that just helps me like rotate the machine around so I can get to the parts I need to get to without it being off balance, because that belted Z motor does hang down underneath the frame of the printer, so it was making it rock and tilt and stuff. And so getting the feet on pretty quick was important. Yeah, all of this good to go here, not doing any Z-axis stuff. And this is where we are right now. So we should be getting into the gantry next, and that's what we're going to work on today. Again, the portions of this that we're going to take away are basically your belts, your bearing stack. So it's washer, bearing, washer is one stack. In the case of the V0, it's two washers, two bearings, two washers. And the tulip gantry is slightly different. So what we'll do is take you over to Chrome. And I've just got the gantry uploaded here in the browser window. And this is just Autodesk Viewer on the web. You could put this in Onshape if you wanted to. And what I'm going to do is just turn off the frame. And then we could turn off the umbilical stuff and the pico-umbilical stuff. And then we get into just the gantry parts itself. I don't need the tools right now because we've already done that. Tensioners are already installed. AB motors are already installed. So now I'm just really down to the gantry. When you're looking at the XY joints, you have a couple of different options. One of them is sort of the standard one here. And you can see this is going to be single color, not too crazy. The other option is the MMU color. And so that would be sort of looking like this. You can, selectively paint. We could do that on the H2D. I chose to just use the standard one. And so the parts that I'm going to use are white. They look like this. So they're all white, and then the lower half of it will be green. Cat ears? Yeah, cat ears. Yeah, cat ears. And so to be able to turn this off, I'm not using the MMU stuff, and we're not using live idlers, so those go away. And then we've got light joint. Actually, I think I'm using light joints. I don't remember what I'm using. I don't remember what I'm using, but it looks like this. And so what I need to do is just kind of get a side view and then take a look at how these stack up, and we'll build a set of these. So on this left-hand side, what I'm seeing is this printed spacer here. You've got two washers, two bearings, and then two more washers. And then you've got the opposite on that more forward one there. And again, these are pinned. They're not riding on screws or anything like that. The gantry is a little bit different. I chose to use a lighter weight gantry, so that'll be a little bit of an upgrade for you all. And then we'll do the opposite on the right-hand side. Sound good? And then once we get the gantry in, that's kind of the minimum that I want to get done today. Maybe we do some belts, if I can find the right belts. And then I think we start on some of the wiring type stuff. So just running some cabling, running some wires, and seeing what's going on. Okay. Getting over to the toolbox. This is where we're at. So we're going to take this guy, we'll put him to the side, and we'll work on the gantry. This is the gantry that I plan to install. It's a lighter weight gantry, so a hollow CNC anodized bracket. I've already cleaned and lubricated the rail here, so that's moving nicely. One of the LDO 7H rails. I've got a upgraded carriage. This is from Chirpy. This is in the Dragon Burner GitHub if you're looking for it. But the advantages are a little bit more strength through the mounting area here. There are a couple zip tie points now as well. You've got an in-stop location for your X, and then the way that the belts come through are a little better. So when I compare this to, let me see if I have the other one still hanging around. The stock one I thought I had. I might have tossed it already. Yeah, I think I tossed it already. Here we go. So when I compare it to the original, this is the original. You can see that the belt path comes through the center of the carriage, and then it is held in place with a couple of I don't even know what you want to call them, maker beam inserts, I suppose. And that's how that one works. For this one, you kind of route the belts through these couple of slots here on the outside. So they'll come underneath, come out the side, and then you can lock it in with those same maker beam nuts from before. Again, you see some reinforcement through the top of the carriage, and then you have a few zip ties that are not on the original. So if you can rebuild your V0 with one of these, I think it's slightly more improved. And so to keep things great for you all, that's what we're going to do. Again, just trying to make quality of life improvements throughout the entire build process. And because we're working on a small gantry, I'm going to move you guys down a little bit. If I can find the right camera, here we go. And then we'll zoom in just a touch on what's going on here. Probably in there. There we go. And I'll try to keep this in frame as we go. This is your gantry. These are the cat ear pieces that Robin loves so much. It's probably hard to see on camera, but there is an engraving of a cat ear on there. I chose not to do these in multicolor. I've got a couple of touches on the frame and stuff like that, so I didn't want this to be too flashy in your face. So we'll do that. This is drilled. This gantry is drilled to have stock locations for all the stock V0 parts. So the rail just kind of dropped in. These mounting points for your XY joiners were a little bit off center, or I guess the rail is off center. The rail is shifted this way for its mounting location. So I did have to chop off the end of the XY joiner there. I think I shaved maybe 5 millimeters off, and that allows that XY joiner to sit in place without being, I don't know, impacted by the rail that was causing some misalignment. So the mounting locations are threaded on here. So once I get a tool, these just kind of go right into where they're supposed to be. Pretty low threat. The gantry I got on AliExpress, I want to say it's a Fazetic rail. I got it probably 2 years ago. I was going to install this on my personal V0. Never ended up using it. Decided to go a different direction. So this one is a spare rail. And so my loss is your gain. And then this one will go here. And we can install the bottom ones. Just trying to keep things flat and even, doing a few turns on each screw until we get snug, and then we'll snug that down, not cracking any plastic. And so there's your gantry. Very cool. Doing the bottom, they are keyed. So once you have your rail mount portion, there's a small detail here. You can kind of see in the camera. There's a small detail there that top portion keys into, and then you've got your heat insert in the bottom, and that's how we're going to secure things in place. But there's also a M3 screw hole in the bottom of the rail itself, and that'll interface with this portion here. And so what we should end up with is something like that. Oh, well, you have to choose the right one. They are individual to the side, so we'll end up with something like that. But first, we should probably do our bearing stacks. So I said earlier that I was going to start on the left side, and that's the photo that I'm seeing on screen. And what I can do is close this guy, move this over a little bit. And so we'll build it that way. And the way that I'm going to do that is I do have the pins left over from the teardown. And these are going to be 2 pins. Each pin, I believe, is 20 millimeters long. Let's get the ruler out. They are... These particular ones are 29.5, so 30s are probably good to go if you've got some M3 pins that are 30 millimeters long. And again, let's move this camera a touch so you get a good view of what is going on. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just place these pins into the slot, into the hole. And the way that I've been doing this, because I can't really grab it, is I have this KB3D tool with a magnet on the end. So this is just a 2.5 millimeter driver. And I've been sort of magnetizing that to the end. And that's acting as my holder so I don't beat my fingers. The pins are meant to be tight. Meant to be a tight fit so they don't move or rotate. But I've been sort of lining that up and using my rubber mallet to pound those in place. And then once they get all the way in, I can remove my tool, double check that we are flush with the top surface there. And I think just a few more taps and we're good to go. And we'll do the same with the other pin. I think while I'm here, I'll just pound in all 4 of the pins for both sides of the gantry. I like to start at the top because that's the one you're going to see. So if those are flush with the top, it gives a much nicer appearance than if they were sticking out of the top. And so having those be flush against the granite surface is my preference. Hey, Kegel. Thanks for the sub, Desert Wolf. Sorry I missed it, man. Hopefully we got an alert there. Hey, Akozad, good morning. We're finishing up the gantry on the V0, so make sure that you like and subscribe if you want to see this thing finished up. There's also a link in the chat for a filament giveaway if that is your catnip and you want to take home some free LDO filament direct from Jason at LDO. Also, third thing, there's a raffle going on where we're going to give this printer away. So there, if you !raffle in the chat, it'll provide you the link where you can get tickets to support the nonprofit and win, possibly, this printer or 18 other giveaway items. Hey, DaVinci 10, good morning. Yeah, so if you want to take this printer home, or a Prusa wire, or a bunch of other things, go buy some raffle tickets. Alright, so the pins are in. We're doing this a little bit upside down, so got to be careful with how I'm doing it. So I'm going to orient it the way that I'm seeing it on the screen in the manual. And then we'll try to do it that way. So if I'm looking at the top of this rear pin should have a spacer first. Should have a spacer first, and then we can do our bearing stack on top. The way that I've been doing the spacers is a little bit different. Because the spacers are just as tight as the pins are going into those plastic parts. So you're going to have to use a little bit of percussion and have a way to hold that without smashing your fingers. So you could try to hold it like I'm holding it here and then lightly tap that with a hammer until you get started. But then you run into the issue that I'm about to show where that's only going to go on so far before the pin sort of stops itself. So what I've been doing is getting out my needle nose here and sort of holding that to where I'm just outside of where the pin is, and then tapping that so I get it started going down, and then carefully turning this up and doing the same thing by tapping on the handle, and this is going to push that down. Right, so I don't know a better way to do that other than to try to put that on the pin first, but either way, it's on. You bought your 2 raffle tickets. Well, Petty, I hope you win it, man. Petty, let the chat know how much tickets are. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Had to cough. I took water down the wrong hole. Man. Okay. Yeah, so tickets are only $10. So if you think about it, you could take this printer home for $10 if you're the chosen winner. That's amazing. If you think about what the cost of a V0 kit is, yeah, $10 for one, $50 for 6, $10 each. That's right. So for $10, you're taking home a printer that has a value of about $700. Because if you think how much of a kit is, plus the cost of prints, plus the cost of new panels, and some of the updates we're doing, so the Gantry, right? The Revo hot end, that kind of stuff. So roughly $700 in the kit altogether for a $10 raffle ticket that helps kids. Can't really beat that. I forgot what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. Sorry, brain is still a little bit asleep. Okay, so a couple of bearings here. These are all the original hardware. So 2 bearings there, and then 2 small spacers. And I can't get my finger in there, so we use the magnet to pull all that stuff out. And I know that we've got bearing, washer, and then bearing flange down, bearing flange up, and then 2 more of those shims. I like this magnet, but it does love to stick to everything, and it's kind of annoying. Like that, and then like that. Okay, so there's 1 bearing stack. And just to verify, I'm gonna hold that up, and that looks like the CAD to me. And then we just do the reverse on the other side here. So it looks like 2 shims first, and these shims are 1/2 millimeter. So if you're looking for the right shim, 1/2 millimeter is what it needs to be. We do 2, that way we get the 1 millimeter space, and then it goes bearing, flange down, bearing, flange up, and we got 2 more shims to put on there. You discovered you like building printers more than doing the config? Mike, I'm with you. It's I like building printers more than I like printing. Not even gonna lie. I've been doing a lot of printing lately just because it's the season, and there's a little bit of an expectation to print things and stuff for the holidays, and this is usually when orders for things come in, and friends want stuff, and family wants stuff. And so I've been doing a lot of printing lately. If you're a member of the channel, you've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff. There are more shorts scheduled to post over the next couple of days about what I've been working on in the shop. So just trying to provide value for the members who are here. And if you want to support the channel, gifted memberships is probably the best way to do that. That brings more people in, and they get to see behind-the-scenes stuff as well. Pounding that on. And then, you know what, while I'm thinking about it, and before I forget, let's do a little bit of member giveaways. So let's try to gift some memberships. This is something that I learned like yesterday, just playing around with the stream. But I've got the opportunity to give away memberships. I've got 10 memberships to give away every month. And the end of the month is 2 days away. I don't plan to stream between now and then, so let's say we give away 5 memberships right now. Who wants to see some memberships? It's funny, you're just finishing your V0. Echozad, that's cool. Tell me about it. What mods are you doing? Or are you just building stock? What are the quality improvements that quality of life improvements that you're targeting? Do it. Petty said do it. So Petty's the boss. Let's give away 5 memberships right now. There you go. Grumpy Nerd got a membership. LTX Designs is a member. Robot Overlord, Ken Davis, Chris Ramsey. Welcome all to the membership team. That feels good to be able to give away memberships. So the things that I like to do so far, what I'm doing with my memberships is I'm showing you guys behind the scenes stuff that I'm working on that you may not see on stream, stuff that I'm printing that I usually don't post because I'm terrible about remembering to do that. Little tips and tricks, new stuff that we're getting in the shop. I've got something new over here to my right that I'm really anxious to show off, but I don't want to give it away. So if you want to know what that is, you got to become a member. So you built it with an EVB36 Big Tree Tech E3 Easy main board with a Raspberry Pi CM4. Nice. Yeah, we're going to do something similar. So I've got this. This is the original EVB36 that came off of the machine before we tore it down. This is going to go back on. One change I'm going to make is take it from a Orbiter 2 down to a Sherpa Micro, which should help us decrease some of the weight at the tool head. And then also we're going to go with a Dragon Burner. I think before it was using a mini stealth burner or a variant of that. And so we're just trying to keep the gantry as lightweight as possible. And we're going to do that through changing up the hot end, sorry, not the hot end, the tool head we're using and the extruder that we're using. Hey, Wig Central. And here in maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, we'll give away some more memberships. I've got 5 more to give away. And if you're not entered into the filament giveaway, it should probably be in there as well. Oh, Vampire Bat and Dragon Burner. Nice. I want to try that Vampire Bat. That's the unsupported rail, right? So you don't have anything like this. It's just a gantry mod that takes the linear rail and makes it a front mount, so you're this way, which drives you to have a different mounting pattern. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then just some XY joiners that hold things together. I think that's right. But I've been looking at that Vampire Bat, and that does look pretty cool. And considering it for my own build. I think I also want to do MGN9 on my personal V0. Stay. Yeah, sorry if that's coming through on camera. If it's too annoying, I can mute. You guys let me know. I've got noise canceling on and stuff like that, but I can't hear how it's coming through. Yep, that's correct. So you have a front-facing tool head. Yeah, YouTube made it where I can't get a gifted membership. Aw, why? Why can't you get a gifted membership, Kegel? Is it because you are a content creator and you have a channel? I don't know why you could not. When I give away 5 more here in a little bit, we'll see if it gives you one. I wish I could choose who to give it to in some cases, but alas, I cannot. Okay, so on this one, the most rear pin is looks like bearing stacks first. Okay, so I need to find some more shims. I don't know how it happened, but all of the shims that we took off of the machine are not the number of shims going back on it. So let's see. Either there were never shims there because it was an earlier revision of the tulip gantry, or they were never there in the first place. And I'm not sure which one, but I need to find some M3 shims somewhere. I'll tell you what, I think I have some right down here. Yeah, here we go. Branded. You have 2 V0 to build and looking for all the mods to pick through. Oh, Mike. Yeah. That's tough, man. Like, I'm with you. I don't really know how I want to build my own V0. There are so many mods and so many cool upgrades out there for the V0 that it's difficult to pick which ones I would want. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think since you have 2 to build, like, divide them in half. So do half your mods on one, do the other half of your mods on the other. And that way you get to try the best of both worlds. And then maybe, I don't know, pick your favorites. So like that, and then we do the, I need a couple more spacers. But yeah, I'm looking at the vampire bat, but I also like the tulip mod we're doing because the double shear is interesting to me. The tensioners at the front is interesting to me, and I think I want to do that. Can't without hitting my fingers. Let's try this way. One is for your girlfriend's first printer. That's cool. I wish my girlfriend liked printers. Do you want to change the extruder from the Orbiter 2 to the Sherpa like you did? Reduce weight. Yeah, Mike, this is, sorry, Akozad, this is what I'm doing. So this is the Sherpa Micro. This is the Sherpa Micro that we're going to install. And you can see it is as bare bones as you could possibly get. Using BMG gearing. Stainless, so you'll be able to run abrasives through this. The hot end is not that way, so you may need to change out your nozzle. It's going to be an E3D Revo. And yeah, this is what I'm planning to use. We'll see how it works out. There's also going to be a auxiliary cooling fan on it. So if you wanted to print PLA and not have to worry about removing your chamber or opening your door, you could probably do that with this other auxiliary fan here. This one doesn't want to go on. Cool. I think I'm losing some of my bearings. They're popping off over here. That one. And then I know I had 2 on there. Where'd the other one go? Oh, I lost it here. Be careful about that. Should probably go ahead and put that other piece of gantry on. So if we go that way, that would be wrong. So that means this one is the correct one. It's going to be the same. You got to sort of pound it in there. Camera can fix anything. Killer Prince, using number 2 Phillips to bevel the hole a little might make it easier. Yeah, we could do that. I've got, I don't know if it's a number 2 or not, but I do have this Phillips. And I think what you're saying is just to kind of do that. I've also got one of these. This is what I prefer. Cybertech is like, I've got this reamer hole thing and just kind of give it a swoop. And another little swoop, and that should help. But the holes are still tight, like, I mean, and they should be, right? You want to be able to have friction in there to hold those pins. You don't need them falling out. Like that. So there's some more room in there. Make sure that goes down flush, and mine, for whatever reason, is not. I think they just need to get those together. So my other technique is to use some parallel jaw pliers like these. You can get one of these Cybertech almost anywhere. I use this for a lot of different holes. So like you said, like you suggested, if you want to chamfer something, this is a great way to do that. It removes elephant's foot inside of a hole. Give you that little bit of a chamfer if one is not designed in there for you. But the other trick I like to do to get these pins on, is I get these parallel jaw pliers that can go all the way out. And then if you can put that around where you want to squeeze those together, then you just adjust to what size you need, and you can incrementally close that down. So see, that's about good. And then from there, we just give a gentle squeeze. And then we'll do the same over here, like so. And it's a non-marring squeeze together. Just make sure your bearings rotate, that you didn't squeeze too much. But the printed parts are now flush on that gantry, and that's what we were looking for. If you're really worried about it, you could clean your jaws or put some protective tape on there or something like that. But yeah, these are really good. This is a 1.5 inch version. Sorry, it's called Toulant Orca. I got these on Amazon. They are super cheap. I think they were maybe 20 bucks for these. The Knipex version is very good quality, right? But you're gonna pay like $60 for the same tool. And realistically, the quality of the two, I have a Knipex as well. The quality is the same, in my opinion. So, I mean, this is just fine with me. And then I know I need to put a screw in here to hold it to the gantry, and then a screw through here to sandwich those together. So we'll get through that really quickly. I don't remember the size of the screw here, but it looks to be not a 35. It's probably a 30. Yeah. So that's what I ran into before as well. So I think some of the changes on the gantry call for different size hardware. So I've had to dig in the crates over here to get the right size hardware. So 1 second, bear with me as I find my M3 hardware here. So this is a 30, I believe. Yes. So a 30 looks to be the right size. Actually, no, that's inset. So a 25 is going to be the right one, and I think these 25s will work. We'll keep with that black hardware. Yeah, so that'll go in here. And where's my driver? Get the 2mm LDO driver out. Tighten this down. Super nice pliers. Hey, Hadron, good morning. Yeah, they're super nice for the price. Toulant, Toolant. They're the 180mm version, or what's it say? 40/1.5 inch. Use a bench vise with jaw pads. You could do that, Mike. I don't have a bench vise. I don't even have a bench to mount a vise to. Not in this workshop. I did in my last workshop. I had a 30-foot by 60-foot building, and half of it was my makerspace. The other half was my garage gym, and that worked out great. But that was when I lived in Oklahoma a year ago. All of that did not come with me. So now I'm just in a, it's probably it's a two-car garage, but there's extra space on the left and the right, more so on the right side, where my makerspace is now. And that's where all my printing shelves and stuff are, and it's a complete, there's enough room over there to completely have a workshop. It's just not as big as my previous shop. Alright, so let's do this last one here. This is going to go through the part into the gantry itself. Oh, it's not mounted? Oh, I got you. Yeah, it's not mounted. Okay. Yeah, mine was mounted to the bench, and the bench was built into the shop itself. And so I couldn't couldn't necessarily take it with me without ripping all that out, and I had no idea where I was going when I got here, and so you know, it just didn't work out for me. Okay, so there is one side. Let's move some of this hardware and some of these tools. I've got that on there now, and then this other one, the more forward pin, should be looks like spacer first and then bearing stack. Tell you what, having the CAD open while you're building this stuff, especially with no manual, is clutch. So if you're building this and you're doing this, highly recommend you have the CAD open so that you can reference that. Okay, and then again, doing the same thing here. All the way down, and then should be good there. We'll put our bearing stacks on. Looking for 2 of our shims. There's 1 shim and 2 shims. Bearing flange down, bearing flange up. Another shim here, and then final shim on top of that, and then from there we should be able to put our green piece on, our lower. Actually, we need to chamfer those like Cybertech said. Yeah, I forgot about that. So a couple spins. Hopefully that helps us. So kind of press that on there by hand. It's not going to work. Hands aren't strong enough, so we'll give it a few love taps. Just tap it in. And then we can press it in with the tool the rest of the way. Press, tool. Again, alternating so we get an even distribution. We're not cracking anything, just slightly squeezing on both pins here until we get to flush. Then we add our hardware. So what are you guys thinking of the build so far? Is this something that you might want to do? Because I know a few people are building V0s in the chat. How many do we have? How many people are building V0s right now? I'm tracking Mike. I'm tracking Akozab. Anybody else have a V0? You love it? John, you're building a V0? What mods are you doing, John? Any? A T0, okay. I love the T0. Trident is probably my favorite, simply because the gantry is the most rigid out of the different builds. V2 looks cool, but in my experience having used both, I think I like the gantry on the Trident a little better. It just seems more rigid. You can do a little more with it without running into Z issues. And 0 panels, that's cool. Tulip mod, okay. Nathan's already got a V0 working. Steve P says he's building a Doron Delta. Steve P, I have a Delta behind me that I have mechanically finished and have not set up the firmware on. Now, if you give me a second, I'll bring it up here. We'll take a little bit of a lunch break from the V0 for a second. Let me grab this. Let's fix the camera. And then we'll bring the V0 over. I'll show you where I'm at. It's going to be out of frame because it is so tall. It is a Delta after all, but this is my V0. Sorry, not my V0, my Delta, my Voron Delta. Doron Delta, that's hard to say. Not going to get it all in frame, but this is what I went with. This is Hatchbox transparent green ABS. The darker stuff is Ambrosia Dolos. I think it's titanium anno. I've also chosen to move this manually. Sorry for making me sick. I've got the WaveShare screen up here. Top hat is uninstalled because I need to finish up some electronics. But it's running a Nighthawk. And it's got the Fizztech, what's it called, sail fin. It's like a V6 hot end with a Bamboo Lab like heater type deal. But that's my Doron. I've got the two panels here. The door I have not installed, so don't be confused with the handle. But there's no front panel here. I need to do that. But I want to modify these hinges to have heat sets in here so that I can mechanically bolt that front door on instead of just taping it. So working on that. But yeah, this is my Doron Delta. What's it running? It's got the Fizztech F4. I think that's the board name. Whatever their Pico clone small tool main board is. You can see this thing is super dusty. I haven't played with it, and we've been here a year, and that thing's just kind of been hanging out, so I need to get back to it. So maybe that's one of the member streams we do is when I work on the Delta again, we'll stream that to members only. You don't have one, been tempted to build one in the past, but probably build a 180 printer before you. Petty, yeah, I would recommend the Micron. The Micron's really cool. I've got a Micron over here that I have built. I need to rebuild, so I haven't used it much lately. Just kind of been busy building stuff, so getting back to, you know, printing with printers that I need to refresh is kind of the name of the game lately. Havoc has a Pandora box. Taking the ant head off, replacing with a dragon burner. I'm curious about that, Havoc. Why? Do you prefer the dragon burner over the ant head, or is it a, I don't know, a configuration thing? Like you're able to do different extruders and stuff with the dragon burner that you can't do with the ant head? Hey, Damascus Everglades. Titanium Anno looks good. You have a spool, need to find a use. Tulip mod looks so good. I agree. Tulip mod is my favorite right now for the V0. Although right, so when we put this in here, this is going to be on top of the rails like so. When we put this in here, it's going to look great, especially with the gantry like that. But if it were a front mounted like that, what's it called, Batwing mod that Akazev was talking about, that thing looks cool too though. It's more traditional. But I think to be able to do that one, there's probably a change to the rear motor mounts just to make everything line up. So there's probably more to it than that. You probably have to swap out the whole gantry. But we're pretty close to wrapping this one up here. I know that. Let's see, those do look like they line up. Just need to put some hardware in there. I think they're M2s. Wait, you hate the ant head? It's way too complicated, but it looks nice. Well, I didn't think it was too complicated. M2 by 6s. M2 by 6s. Are you going? Okay. Sorry, team. Just talking to the wife there a little bit. Talking about what we're going to do later. I think I might have used those 6s somewhere else, but that's okay. We've got more. We've got more. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a fan of the A4T. You guys heard of the A4T? I like that one a lot. And I think I want to put that one on, I don't know, maybe the Trident. I don't know yet. But I want to try the A4T on something. I just remember these are M2 by 6, not M3 by 6. So, where did I... Let's see what we have. M2 by 6 flatheads. Thought I had some of those. And 2x6 flatheads. Oh, I see them. Okay. They're in with the button heads, and so I didn't notice them at first. But I need a tweezer to get them out of there. A4T has been great for you. All your Vorons have A4T. Steve P, what Vorons and what makes you like it so much that you put A4T on all of them? Kittrell, same question. Like, what do you like about A4T? And realistically, what I'm more concerned about is what do you hate about it? Because every tool head has its pluses and minuses, and the negatives are more interesting than the positives. Let's see if we can get this on here. Tell you what, let's move it this way a little more. I wish I had a shorter tool. This thing is so long. So I'm just putting these in to sort of hold the gantry in place till we can get things lined up. And once we get it lined up, we tighten things down a little bit. I think generally I would prefer to leave everything loose and then put the belts on, get the belts tension, and then we'll tighten down the gantry. That way we eliminate any binding that might be there. But for now, I think I'm gonna just put these in here, you know, finger tight. The A4T is tempting because of the crossbow. Yes, Petty, that's why I'm considering it for my trident. I want to put a box turtle on there. I need to build it. If you remember and you saw the post the other day, I did get some injection molded box turtle trays, which saves a crap ton of hours of printing. If you've never printed a box turtle, a lot of your print time will come from printing those damn trays. But now that you can get injection molded trays from LDO, it will really save you some filament and cut down on a lot of print time. Like the little extruder motor covers and stuff like that, those things happen pretty quick. You can get those done in a day for the entire build. But the trays, I think the trays are something like 5 hours each, depending on your printer. And if you're building a 4 tray, that's 20 hours of print time. Trident 250, Trident 300, 2.4, 300, and no negatives from the A4T. Nice. Yeah, I want a Trident 250 so badly. There's only one reseller right now that has a 250 kit. That's an LDO kit from West 3D, and I wanna pull the trigger on it, but it's a little bit pricey. The LEDs were the worst part. That's any tool head. It's rigid, simple, clean. Crossbow going on your trident with a box turtle next. Nice. Yeah, Kitchell, you and I are in agreement. I think the same thing. LEDs are a pain. I have not done LEDs for this because I don't like soldering LEDs. I just don't. And making them for a dragon burner sucks even worse. Like I was looking on Etsy and all kinds of places for people selling harnesses for a dragon burner. I don't know why that's not a thing yet. You can buy a harness from a lot of different people for the stealth burner that are already soldered and ready to go, but for whatever reason on a dragon burner those don't exist. You can't just buy a harness. You have to solder your own. I wish I could just purchase one. If someone out there is willing to make one, I'm willing to pay you for it because I hate soldering that much. In fact, I would need 2 of them, if you don't mind. I'm just incrementally tightening things down to sort of level out any skew, try to prevent any binding. And if that's moving smoothly, that means you did a good job at building your frame. So things look aligned to me. Going all the way to the back, we're touching the motor mounts at the same time. Same thing in the front. We are touching the tensioners at the same time. Everything's moving just fine for me. So we'll probably snug these down a little bit more. You willing to solder anything? Mike, you and I should talk. I could definitely use a couple of Dragon Burner harnesses. Please and thank you. We can trade for stuff. I'll pay you if that's what it takes. I just don't want to solder it. I really don't. Nice. I think we're ready to move on to the next steps here. Yeah, John, NeoPixels are okay. Yeah, that's what they use stock, right? Is NeoPixels, the random regular ones? Yeah, I just need a harness. Been trying to make harnesses, just don't know where to find the demand. Mike, if you are trying to make harnesses, I think Etsy is probably a good place to get started. You could post in all the vendor forums on all the different Discords and stuff like that, saying that you've got stuff to sell. There's usually a lot of garage sale pages, flea market pages in the Discords that you can post your wares. That may be a good place to start. Oh, Kegel says he can't receive because he's on a branded account. Kegel, that means that you are a creator who's trying to run your page as a business. So if you want to change it to a personal account, you should be able to, if you don't plan to use it for a business thing. John's asking about, is the X-Rail a 9 or a 7? It is a 7. I thought about upgrading to a 9, but it would stall the build another week, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to stick with the stuff here. I did tear apart, clean, and re-grease all of the rails here, so they're working just fine. We just made a bunch of A4T harnesses, and that guy liked them. Mike, I would be interested in an A4T harness as well. We should talk on Discord after this. John, same thing. If you're willing to make some harnesses, I'm willing to support. Sorry, I'm getting like all kinds of messages behind the scenes here. I think we're at a good place. We're about an hour in. What do you say we give away 5 more memberships? Yep, see, John, look at that. Petty's already looking for an A4T harness. Or I'm sorry, Mike. Petty's looking for an A4T harness. So there's a demand signal out there, man. You just got to get the word out that you are the guy to go to. And if I can help with that, let me know. So let's give away a couple more memberships because I have them and need to use them. We've got 32 people here. And I don't know how many likes we have, but if we're not liking the stream, go ahead and like the stream. It helps out. Hey, good morning, Reth. Let's see if we can get you a gifted membership. All right, sending 5 gifted memberships now. Let's see who we can get. You might a Dragon Burner LED harness for the Pandora box. So Havoc needs one as well. Looks like Steve P's a member, Jason's a member, Tim Talon's a member, Popaway, Captain Kern, all got memberships today. Congratulations. So you guys will get behind the scenes access to what we're working on that we may or may not show here on stream. Congratulations. And if there's anything that you want to see, members have direct line of communication to me to be able to tell me what you want. So if you want to see something specific, reach out. No, don't thank me. Thank YouTube. They allow me to give away 10 memberships every month. I'm coming up towards the end of the month. I don't plan on streaming in the next 2 days. So if I can give them away now, let's give them away. More cowbell. More cowbell. Look at me, dodging all the free gifts like a ninja. Mike, I'm trying, man. I wish there was a way I could influence who it goes to, but that all happens behind the scenes in YouTube. YouTube picks those. But I think, if I remember right, if you're a subscriber, that helps you get a chance to be a member. and liking and chatting and engaging in the stream increases your chances to be a member. So for what it's worth, if you want to be a member, like and sub and comment and participate. It usually helps. Cool. So Ref, let me, I know you're just popping in. Let me show you where we are here. This is the V0. We haven't named it yet. We got to figure that out. This is your bottom panel. So we've got your logo on there. You and Voron Widow looking as dashing as ever. Belted Z is on, bed is on. I just need to do the wiring on the Z. Just finished installing the gantry. That's good to go. We're pseudo following the V0 manual. Can't do it one for one because Tulip Gantry does not apply to what we're doing. Also, we're using different AB motor mounts, so that doesn't really apply to what we're doing. Gantry looks smooth. It is very smooth. I'm not seeing any binding. We are touching at the places that we need to touch. And then I made the executive decision to get rid of the red gantry. So this would be the stock beam that comes on it. I'll include this in the box for the winter. So if you want to go back to your standard 15-15, you can. But I included this one just because I wanted to. But there'll be some extras in there for the Raffle winner. And it's been about 20 minutes. He said better than you got it. Yeah. Well, I had to... so if I'm going to get anything used, I'm going to tear it down regardless. And so what we did here is clean. So we took off, tore apart, and cleaned all of the rails. Re-greased those with some EP2. And, you know, just gave everything a wipe down. And, yeah. Greased all the things that need to be greased, lubricated the things that need to be lubricated, updated to a belted Z axis, so that's going to help on Z with the binding stuff. And then part of it is this additional brace here for the Z axis to keep things in alignment. So yeah, good to go. And then we did a brace on the Kirigami bed as well, so that should help make that a little more rigid. Another thing I'm going to do is add on these little braces here in the front. Not only for a pop of color, but a little bit of bracing for those front unsupported extrusions there. I'll add these to the top hat as well to beef up the top hat. And yeah, coming right along. Got the wide feet, so to increase our rigidity at the base. So yeah, doing a little bit of quality of life things without completely redoing the printer. You like these feet? Yeah, these are the, if you search on printables, wide stealth skirt feet, you'll be able to find those. And in fact, I think I still have the tab open. I can show you the ones that I'm using. I think it's these here. So these extended feet. And there are a bunch of related ones. These are just like some add-ons. The ones that I actually used are... these here from Nathan. So these are the skirts I used from Nathan. And then the feet, I believe, are these. Well, no. Yeah, so I need to print these out of TPU. I don't have any black TPU right now, but I will, and I'll swap those out for the ones that are on there. But the feet are this one here from Drift Loader. And you'll get the extended feet. So if you're looking for it, that's the one I'm using. I'll drop this in chat for you guys just in case. So if you want it, you can get it right here. The feet look like sneakers. That's good. I'm going full pretty. Rhett, that's the only way that I know how to build. Like I was talking about earlier, I like to build more than I like to print. So if I can build something and pass it on to someone else, I'd rather do that because I get more enjoyment out of the build than I do the print. Be cool to make the TPU feet for those that look like little shoe soles. In what way, Mike? I'm interested in doing that. Are you talking like that gum like yellow brownish type look, or are you talking about something else? If I can't receive a membership, you'll get one instead. Kegel, I appreciate the support. And thanks for becoming a member. You never get one when you're in the stream? We'll get you there. We get to do this every month. I give away 10 every month, so there's always a chance. Just the shape instead of a compressor foot, make it look like the bottom of a shoe. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you want me to CAD model something. I don't know that you recognize how ill-trained I am in CAD. I can do some basic stuff, but anything more intricate, like for example, the carriage, right? If I were to try to design this in CAD, it would take me weeks, and it would only be sort of good. I'm not that great, only because I don't practice enough. So I know enough to be dangerous, I don't know enough to be good. I didn't say you had to do it, it just sounds like an awesome idea. I know, Mike, I know. But I always feel bad about reaching out and asking people to do a thing for me. So I've already added those in. Yeah, so those top beams are on. I've not put the locks in yet, we'll do that later. We're up to belts now. And so individual belt pads stacked on top of each other. Motors are moved to a less intrusive position. Equal belt tension is important. Cool. I think what I want to do is try to use the original belts, because the original belts are already pre-stretched and they're still in good condition. So all of the stock wiring and stuff that came with the machine, I just kept in this large bag as I knock the carriage into the bag. So I've got the original belts in here, and these are not branded belts, but they should be fine. I don't know what happened to my other belt. Somehow I only put one belt in the bag. Huh. Well, maybe I don't do the belts in that way. What did I do with the other belt? Pretty sure I didn't toss it. I probably just shoved it in one of these drawers somewhere. No. No. Well, that's okay. We'll throw on some new belts. But I think that's what I wanted to do, was use the original stuff because it was already stretched. If you don't know, one thing you want to try to do is install your belts, tension them, and then wait like a day or two and come back, and you'll notice that those belts are loose because they have stretched over time. Not to mention, after you get a few hundred hours on the machine, they're going to be stretched even more, so you'll have to go back and retension your belts. You may even need to pull them back through the carriage and take another tooth or so out because you've maxed out your tension. That's not uncommon on some of the bigger builds. Something small like this, the belt path is so short that you may not get a terrible amount of stretch, but you will need to go back and tension again. So don't forget that if you see your prints getting a little worse over time, or you're skipping steps or something, that you probably have stretched out your belt since you built it. Hey, LTX Designs. You want to reach out and have someone write your config for you because you're inept? Mike, I could help if you're looking for some help. We're in the same chats. Just let me know what you need, and I'll do my best to help you. If you watch Bearded Printer, he streams on Twitch and does crazy stuff. Yes, Nick, I try to catch Bearded Printer from time to time. My thing is, he streams on Twitch, and I don't always get the notifications that people go live for whatever reason. It's probably my settings. And then also Twitch is difficult for me to follow a lot of times. So I'm not a Twitch hater. I'm a Twitch sometimeser. Hey, Bearded Bucket. Sorry I missed you there. Good morning. Or a combat boot. Combat boot would be good, Mike, for this. But they do kind of look like sneakers, I guess. Cool. Let's find some belt. pretty sure I've got new belt around that will work. That's 9 mil. Those are loops. What is this? Yeah, here's some 6 mil belt. So going through the manual a little bit. Got the hex nuts in place. I've got the heat sets in place on the... Actually, no, I missed 2. So good thing the iron's still hot. I'll add the 2 heat certs there in the rear. So these 2 at the back of the carriage I forgot to put in place. So I need to break out the stealth press and a couple heat insets. I was doing a few earlier this morning before starting stream. So things are already warmed up. Shouldn't take too long to drop these in. From there, John, thanks. Gifted memberships. Who gifted? Let's scroll back here. Who gifted? Bearded Printer. Sorry, Bearded Bucket. Thanks. Thanks for the memberships. He gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Shout out to Bearded Bucket. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so what new members did we get this time? We got Zombie Hedgehog got a membership. Nick is a member now. Jersey Lurker. And Mr. E. John Marcus. The Reverend. Tactical Printing. T-Break Gaming. Do Flunky. Yeah, welcome guys. There's already a few posts for members only on the channel. So after we finish up stream today, if you want to go over there and check out some behind the scenes stuff, there's a few things out there for you. I've only had a couple of days to be able to offer membership, so there's not a ton of content, but I promise you I'm working on more. If there's stuff that you want to see, let me know. I will do my best to make your membership valuable. Just adding a couple heat sets so we can move on, because those are going to be super difficult to get to later. All right, sweet. So it has us do those Maker Beam XL nuts in there first. So we'll take that, get you out of the way. This extra belt over here. Maker Beam nuts. I know I saved these. Here we go. If I did not, that would be a bad day because I don't have extra Maker Beam nuts. That's not something I keep around. I don't do a lot of 15-15 builds. This one in the Micron is the only 15-15 stuff I have. And we're using what size? In 3x8s? I think these are 8s. Where did my ruler go? Yeah, so that's an 8. This one is a not 8. This one is a 6. So we'll have to get a different one here. Yeah. So luckily got a crap ton of extra hardware. Drop that in there. Pull out one of these 8s. All right. So the way that they want us to do this is to just loosely place these into the back of the carriage. So we'll just hold the screw like that, put the maker nut there. Because these are stamped out, you do have sort of a rounded front side and then a more squared off sharp back. I like to put the rounded side towards where the screw enters, towards the front of the carriage here. And that just protects the belt from being gouged with the potentially sharp edge of that Maker Beam nut. Again, that's me, personal preference, makes sense in my brain. If you do it a different way, that's up to you. And the manual is not very clear on how to do it. So do whatever makes sense for you. All right, just putting those in by a couple of threads, and those hold them in place. Manual says to leave them loose, and belt goes in next. So we need to get 2 1-meter belts, or 32.4078 attoparsecs. I don't even know what the hell kind of measurement that is, but that's what it says in the manual. can print a clamp from the Dragon Burner repo that uses square or normal M3 nuts if you do not have the maker beam nuts. Thanks for that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I did realize that I printed a belt tension tool to help with this kind of thing. I don't remember exactly which printables page I got this from, but it's a couple of parts, and it seems to kind of do the same thing, but it's made for the stock gantry because the belts come out the front like this. On the Dragon Burner gantry, the belts come out the side, so I don't know that I can use this as intended. So I won't, but with the belts coming out the side, I think that's good enough. I can tension one side, hold things in place, and then use a needle nose to pull those through and get some actual belt tension on there. One thing I haven't done is tension these tensioners at all, so we leave those to the max looseness. I don't even have hardware in the front of the printer to tighten those things down yet, but we'll get there. So I know there are a ton of tools for all kinds of V0 mods. This was the first kit that LDO put out, so it's been out the longest, which means it's been accessible the longest. And so that's probably the reason for a lot of that. So these are genuine Gates belts, and we're going to install them right side up, because if not, then Steve's going to yell at me. But yeah, brand new GT2 belts for you guys. I don't have any 6mm GT3, so sorry about that. My the only thing I have is 1.5 GT, and GT3 belts I do not have in the 6mm size, so unfortunately no, we're not going to be able to do that today, but we can measure out some belt and get 2 lengths of 1 meter. I'll get the yardstick out. Oh yeah, chili for breakfast. Chili for breakfast? What? I don't know. I'm not a fan of chili really at all. I don't know what it is. It's just not my favorite thing. But I did have some really great ramen yesterday. Ramen's kind of my cheat food, so when I'm feeling a little beat up, I need that extra bit of calories. I'll reach out for some ramen. Actually, I'm gonna square up this. They cut this with a sharp tip, and I just want to square that up before we start to measure and cut these belts. And by the way, for flush cutters, we all have those ones that come with a printer, and they're okay. They work fine, but these ones are my favorite. These are from Hakko, so Hakko, and I found them on Amazon. They're a little more pricey. The cheaper ones that are like I don't know, like something like this. These are okay. These are more premium than the ones that used to come with a Creality, but they're all similar. Maybe they just have different handles. These are much more smooth and responsive. The handles are more ergonomic, and they cut very well compared to these. So this is, I think, what I'm going to start swapping to for my builds. You can get this black one for, you know, $1, maybe $1.50, just about anywhere on the web. These are going to cost you a little more. I think these are probably $3 to $5 each. So I think I'm going to start swapping over slowly to these as these wear out. So I'll just square this one up. And cool. So that's going to work for us. Let's tag that at the 1 meter mark and run it out to here. And then the next thing it reminded us in the manual is that we really need to make sure the belts are the same. And so that's difficult, or it can be, if you don't have a tool. And of course, I've got a tool. I found this on Printables. It's a belt, what do they call it? A belt, I don't know, aligner, measurer, tool, whatever. I I had this when I was building my rat rig build, and it is designed for 9mm belts. But you'll see there are 2 notches on here. The lower notch indicates the tooth, right? So I would want my bottom belt, as I put this in here, in this lower belt, I would want that extra tooth on this end of this belt, and then 1 tooth inside for whatever the top belt is. And so once I align this up, I've got 1 extra tooth on the bottom. Come on. 1 extra tooth on the bottom. And then as I put this in the tool, it maintains the engagement with those teeth as I pull this down the line. It's a very simple tool, very helpful though, so I don't have to sit there and count teeth. And pulling that through, just keeping things in alignment, going a little bit slow because the belts do try to wrap around each other. You just pull that through, trying to keep them aligned. It's forcing those teeth to come together, so I'm counting teeth without counting teeth. Oh, I think I lost it there. Just trying to wrap at the end here, but as you come through, you should be able to get it. And these belts are pretty close anyway. This is just 2 meters of Gates belt. Say old Santa build. That's right, Hadron. It's an old Santa build. Found a good pair of cutters at Lowe's by Klein. Oh, Klein is a good brand. Does that? You love ramen and chili not for breakfast though. I'm not judging anybody. Mike, you can eat whatever you want for breakfast. I've just never heard anybody say they have chili for breakfast. You steal those red cutters from work, do you? Jingle bells on the tool. Yep. You mean forget they're in your pocket? So it sounds like Christmas as it prints. That's right. That's right. So I'm just doing this the old school way by pinching and pulling by hand, engaging those teeth. I think maybe I need to make the 6mm version. That 9mm version's a little bit sloppy, and I felt like I was kind of messing it up. So I've got on this one, I've got 4 teeth left over, and I want that extra tooth on the long belt here. So we'll snip off those 4 extra teeth, and now our belts should be perfectly aligned. So getting 2 meters of belt for this build was the exact right call. All right, for here it has us take the carriage, and it wants me to, how do we do this? It wants us to go under and out the front. That doesn't necessarily work with what we're doing here, so I'm gonna go through this, through the center and out. And I don't know that there's enough room in there for that, so what I'm gonna do instead is remove this retainer, this maker beam thing, and I'm going to run my belt through the top and out like so, and then I can fold it over and then re-add in that maker beam nut with the smooth side going towards the belt. Hard to do in the air, but not too bad. So I end up with something like that. I don't know that's what I wanted. Okay, so 1 second, let's redo it. This nut needs to go on top of the belt, so all the way through. We'll readjust here in a second. Stop twisting. Okay, so like that, and then we'll put the nut on top of the belt like this, and then tighten this in just a little bit to hold it. That. There we go. And then this belt will come out that way on top of that nut, like a sandwich. Nothing like old English and cereal in the morning. Heck yeah. 40s for life. Alright. So we need to do this with both belts. All wrapped up here. And because I got that first one in there, I think I have enough space to get the second one underneath. And I do, and we'll just pull that out to a point where they're equal on the ends here. And then I'm going to snug this down just to hold things in place. We can adjust later if need be, but I'm going to snug that down so those belts don't pull themselves out of alignment as I'm tensioning things on. And let's see if I can move this back to the center here. There we go, more vertical. Those belts will come across like that. And so now, instead of the old way of doing things, I have tension here at the front with a couple of teeth in the front of the carriage, but then also across the back, I'm folding that and pinching that in between the rails. So I'm really sort of locking that belt into place. That's why I like this carriage a little better. All right, from here, I think we just put this on the tool head, yeah? Yeah, like tying your shoes, but worse. Very great. All right. I'm going to add just one screw through the top of this to hold the carriage in place, and that'll help me route the belts without having to have 4 hands. So we'll grab some M2 hardware and a small 1.5mm driver as it tries to run away. Again, folding those belts over to where they need to be, placing that on the rail like so. Let's see if we can get that in place. Yeah, not really tighten that down. And those are button heads. I don't really like that. I think I'm gonna swap those for socket heads because they tend to round off less than button head anything. My preference is to use socket heads for everything possible. And I've got a little kit of hex nuts. Sorry, not hex nuts. Hex head, socket head. And for me, these work a little better. Problem is, I think I've used a ton of these already, so I don't have the right size. I feel like I bought a set of these just the other day. What did I do with them? I feel like I bought a pack of 100 off of Amazon or something like that just the other day. I'm not sure where they ended up though. What is this? Spacers? Yeah, that's the challenge of having so much stuff in the workshop that, and so many projects going on at the same time, that I tend to put stuff in a place and then lose it. And I'm not sure what I did with it. Just give me a second, guys, to find what I need here. No, not in this bag. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess we're gonna use what we have here. Oh, there we go, some 8s, but I think 8s are too big. I need 6s. Well, I guess we're gonna just use what we have. Just add one more in here. So I'm just lightly attaching 2 of these to hold the carriage in place without twisting too much. So I'm just going till it touches plastic, then I'm stopping, turning. All right, and that holds the carriage where it needs to be. Yeah, we still got smooth movement there. All right, so I like to push my carriage all the way to one side or the other, depending on the belt that I'm going to route. And for this one, looking at our thing here, keeping this up. Is this the screwing and stripping stream with Kill It? It might be. God, that sounds awful. Splashed myself in the face. Okay, let's see. Lower belt. I'm gonna start right here in this center section. And center section on the right hand side. So this one, is a lower belt. It goes across around the idler back to the motor. So we'll do that, and then we'll flip and do the opposite on the other side. I've done this a few times. I kind of understand how it's supposed to go. So I'll just kind of talk through it, and then we'll double check with the manual when we get done. I like to go in this way, right? So I'm starting on this lower belt that goes to the front first. So I'll push my carriage all the way to the right hand side, move my other belt sort of outside the frame and across. First big challenge is getting around your lower idler here. And because things on the tulip frame are so open, we don't have panels on, anything like that. We're going to be good to go here. So like so. And then I can push my carriage over. That's going to hold that in place. So as I tension this around, should be good. That's going to go through the tensioner and around the side here. And pull that all the way to the front again, just to hold things in place. And then from here, this is where we got to get a little creative to get around that motor. Again, the tulip mod is pretty open, so getting your hands in there and getting your fingers in there, not too bad. It's a little more difficult on the stock stuff because it's all enclosed back here on the A motor. So getting around that and around these idlers, not bad. I have already just gotten things aligned. The motor pulleys are aligned to where it should be. I could probably adjust that motor pulley up another millimeter or millimeter and a half, and that'll just get a better belt alignment with less rubbing on the flange. But that's for a later date. The important thing is to get the belt path correct. And so coming around this side, go stay on the bottom. Let's go right back through that one there, and we're good to go. So just routing that guy, and then what I can do, turn this a little more. Just sort of tuck that inside the carriage to keep it from flopping. Now for the upper one, we're going to do sort of the opposite. So still going from the right hand side, we'll come across, and instead of going to the front, we're going to go to the back first. So around this upper idler here, still keeping that carriage against the XY joints. This time we're going to miss the motor. Pull this to the back, I suppose. Miss that motor. And then over here on this side, we'll come across the top idler and engage the motor on the B side. Hey, Kenneth Davis. Is this... yeah. So again, easy access if your belt cooperates. There we go. So around the motor pulley. Pull out all your slack. Try to keep things from twisting. And then around that some more. Come through on the idler here. Let's get a tool in there. The end of the belt is at the end of where we where it was wrapped into a big loop, and so it wants to continue to curl back on itself. This goes down here. Sorry, that lower belt's kind of in the way, so just move that out of the way. This one comes up, and we'll go through our idler, or sorry, our tensioner in the front, like that. There it goes, and then we'll come back around to our gantry. We'll engage this upper idler here. Now we have two belts routed, like that. And so the important part, like as you're tensioning this, before you trim the extra bits of belt, you want to make sure that you are on all the idlers, are wrapped around all the pulleys where you should be. Things are routed correctly. Your tensioners are all the way at their loosest position. That we have the most adjustment when you need to adjust. And then from here, you can kind of measure out and see that your belts are equal. And ours are cut exactly right. Here's where I'll take the carriage off again. Just makes it easier. With the V0 in particular, the way that the belts are retained inside the carriage is not the most fun. Not the most fun at all. So we'll hold on to those two screws, and then just like we did before, I'm going to remove this maker beam nut and then insert our belts. May not remove it all the way. I think I can sneak that belt underneath. So upper belt under the carriage and through. Lower belt, same deal. Under. Fell off anyway. Under. And then we'll put this back on and start to tension that. And apologies if you can't see what's going on here, but it is very small, tiny parts. It's one of the reasons the V0 is one of the harder things to build, is because everything is so tiny, everything is so small, that it's difficult to get your hands in there. Cool. So from there, take some of this out so we have some adjustability. I've gone ahead and tensioned this right hand side of the carriage, so those belts are locked into place. They're equal length sticking out, equal teeth on that side. I want to do the same over here. So just by readjusting that a little bit, I can add some tension to those belts, and we just want to make sure that tension is equal amount of teeth. You don't need to get it super tight, but having a little bit of pre-tension on there is a good idea. If they're too loose when you install and then you cut your belts, probably going to have a headache getting that to tension appropriately. Actually, I've got exactly 4 of the correct M2 nuts that we need, so I'm going to use those until I can find my set of the other ones. I don't know what I did with those. I know that I had them. But I will say this build has gone a little quicker than what I anticipated. I was out here for only, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours yesterday working on this. And I was able to get the frame going, frame all installed, bed and Z-axis installed, AB drives installed. And so today, really, all I needed to do was the gantry and the belts, which are some of the more fun things to get to. Tight like a tiger. It's always awesome when builds go smooth. Yeah. Like the building usually goes smooth either because you've messed it up and you don't realize, or it really is that easy. I'll be honest with you and be a little bit vulnerable here. The part that makes me the most nervous is always the firmware setup, because what happens is if your input shapers are atrocious and you've got binding and that kind of stuff, really the only way to fix it is to probably undo a lot of the work you did on the gantry assembly. And it's either a binding issue or unequal belt length and stuff like that. And that can be hard to diagnose. That can be hard to figure out. And realistically, if you run in that situation, it's going to take you a little while to figure it out. And when you do, you're going to have to undo your gantry. That's really the only way to do it. So remove tension from the belts, remeasure your belts, make sure that nothing is binding in your rails. And that can be a lot. That can be a full day's work just to figure that out. I got to do that on the rat rig. And I'm considering streaming on this Friday. And maybe we'll take a look at the rat rig and take it from an IDEX down to a single tool head. So that reminds me, I want to want to see what you guys want to see. So for my members, new and have been here, I'm thinking about streaming Friday. What do you guys think? Let's start a poll. Stream on Friday? Question mark. What do you guys think? Zero, so true. Chasing gremlins. Yeah, you probably are in that zone right now where you're chasing gremlins. It's true. Let's get my small 1.5 out here. Let's tighten down this carriage a little bit. But yeah, the majority wins here. Polls open to everyone, but I definitely want to hear from my members who just became members today, who became members last week. Thank you so much. I want to provide value for you all. So if it's valuable to watch a stream on Friday when most people are going to be at work, let me know. Plan is to work on the rat rig, take it from an IDEX down to a single tool head. But depending on how much work that's going to be and how many hours that takes, we may look at something else instead. So if you have an opinion on what you want to see, let me know. Kegel, I don't know yet. It's probably going to be in the morning, roughly same time as what we're doing right now. So 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. If you're East Coast, that's roughly 10:30, 11 o'clock. And we'll go for a couple of hours looking at some stuff. We've got a couple of options. So rat rig can be one of those. The other option is we can look at a box turtle build and finish that thing up. We probably won't get to firmware, but we can build one. All right, those are all pretty pre-tensioned for me. If we really want to get crazy, what we can do is, what did I do with my pliers? Right here. So we'll get our parallel jaw pliers out, make those small, and then I can grab onto the belts and use the tension from the plier to add a little more on there. Again, we don't want to go super tight, but tight enough. And then try to use my free hand. I should probably swap. So just grab onto the belts up against the carriage like that. And then as I rotate this plier out, it's going to add some tension and give me space to get my tool in there so I can tighten down that maker beam behind it. And we can do the same on this other side. We'll release that. We'll check some teeth. Look to be pretty close. I think I might be one tooth off here, so we'll readjust this top belt in one tooth. Just pry that out a little bit. Maybe we can pull the, yeah, there we go, pull the bottom one out. Now we're even. I can snug that back down. Sweet. There we go. We have a gantry. We have a smooth gantry. A belt, sorry, yeah, A belt looks to be definitely in the center of that pulley. B belt is about a 0.5 millimeter from the top flange, so we should be good on that pulley as well. Everything is on the idlers as they should be. I'm not seeing any misalignment all the way around. Belts are coming across the back. We're not wrapped around anything we shouldn't be. And yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. So we got a gantry and some belts going today. That's pretty good progress, I'd say. What else can we work on? Mike, thanks for becoming a member. 9mm belts, yeah, I wish they were 9mm. Could you imagine 9mm belts on a V0? That would be nuts. You'd have to increase the gantry so much that it wouldn't fit under the side rails anymore. So you would have to raise these at least 6mm do some work here on your tensioner, do some work on your AB motors. Yeah, you have to redesign the whole thing just to run 9mm belts, which honestly is overkill on something like this. I've got 9mm belts on several machines, and I don't see a huge difference, if I'm honest. It's cool. You can run higher belt tensions and whatever, and they vibrate less, and there's a lot of benefits. But those benefits are not, in my experience, increased accels or anything like that. Pop a spacer? You could. You can definitely do that. What control board am I going to use? Very good question, Kegel. On the back side, I plan to use the Physitech system. So that'll be, I think it goes this way. I don't remember. This way or this way. Regardless, this is going to go in here. It's going to mount to the back panel that we have. And then this is going to provide an outlet to do, what does he call them? The hexagon insert things that I have somewhere. I can't remember. Oh, over here. So we have these hexagon inserts with heat insets in there, and you can place these anywhere, right? So wherever you put these will provide a mounting point for whatever you want to put here. So I'm doing that so that the winner can have options on what they want to do with this machine over time. If they want to change something, if they want to modify or improve something, then they can do that. But to answer your question, what we're going to use is the Raspberry Pi Pico that came, sorry, not the Big Tree Tech Pico that came out of it. This will be mounted, I think, here. I have a Big Tree Tech Pi here that'll mount on this side, so you end up like that. Finally, you'll have the centerpiece. This will go here in the middle and mount to the center, and on top of that, we're going to add in a clipper expander. So this will mount to the case, and that'll provide extra heaters if folks want it. You can add your lighting here, so you can run a 24-volt LED light. You got some extra, what is this? Extra thermistors if you want it. There is RGB pins here. And so we're going to run that, all three of those components. FMS, yes, thank you. So what screen are we using? The screen will be the original screen that came on it, so it's going to be the V0 screen. I've already printed the case. I need to reprint it. I'm not happy with it, but it's a good example of what I want to do. I'm going to redo this, reprint it. It'll be the same color scheme, so very Christmassy. That'll go on like so. And we'll print a pretty decent knob to go on here as well. But that's what I'm going to stick with. Again, trying to reuse all of the hardware that this thing came with while making it a little better for quality of life. So we'll get the expander on there. If later on somebody wants to use a different board, having the Physitech system will allow for changes without having to reprint a whole bunch of stuff. So that's the plan. That is the plan. Great question. The reason that we're doing that is because I don't need to hold on to this extra hardware. It would just be sitting around. So using it up in a build is good. Plus, the other side effect is that it's all flashed and ready to go for a V0, because that's what came out of it. You tried that WaveShare 2.8 and couldn't get it to work. Yeah, I think depending on the hardware you're using, the motherboard you're using, WaveShare can create some issues. I'm not very good in Linux and stuff like that to force things to work, and so I go down a rabbit hole just to figure it out. But we are getting to the 2-hour mark, so this is the time where I start to remind folks that if you have not liked and subscribed the channel and entered into the giveaway, now is the time. I'm probably going to do the giveaway here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So make sure you're in there if you want to win some LDO filaments. I can't give it to you if I don't have your information. Should be a pinned link in the chat. But I want to check on the poll. Let's see what you guys chose. What are the results here? All right, 100% yes. 21 people want to see a stream on Friday morning. So we'll do that. What should we stream? Are we here for the rat rig? Do we want to see that? I'm not going to do an entirely new build because I do need to finish Prusa wire as well. We're going to raffle that off. And so for Prusa wire, I need the case. I ordered everything immediately after the stream on Sunday. So I was going to stream Prusa wire on Sunday. We started to, and then I realized I didn't have the Mark IV case that I needed. So I made that order immediately after stream. It took like a day or two to ship, and it doesn't arrive till tomorrow. So that's unfortunate. So the options are for Friday. We can do a rat rig and redo that gantry. There'll probably be, I'll probably have to get some wiring and stuff, but I don't know that we're going to get to that. So it'll probably be mechanical only, redoing the gantry. The other option is to finish up Prusa wire, and we'll do that. It will be a members only stream though. So keep in mind, if you're not a member, what we're talking about right now is membership only stream. Got to be a member to be there. I will post it for consumption later, but I want to give members the first benefit of seeing that live. You want me to stream myself grilling a steak? Dude, we had steak last night for dinner. Waveshare are all SPI and need a lot of custom config. Yeah, Robin, that's what I'm tracking as well. Hey, Birdman, you like the Christmas theme? That's awesome. You could barely turn the printer on to trying to fit a 3.5 and a V0. Maybe because you're jealous you don't have it. Rat rig for your vote. LTX, thanks. We'll do rat rig. Kittrell wants rat rig. I just got a decent 4.3. Said touchscreen for your Prusa wire 30. Nice. Yeah, Robin, I thought about doing that, but again, I don't want to make it too complicated for folks. How's my inertia printer running? It's not. ACOZ, it's not. I have a few things that I need to get to. I've got over here Double T, my good buddy Double T sent me some double shear CNC mounts for it. I need to put these on. I've also got some CNC tensioners for it. I need to do that portion as well. I also need to, I sold the main board that we put in there, that Corvus G that we were using to try it out. I sold that and in trade ended up getting one of these. So this is a Leviathan that has the extension board on here. So the expansion to give you an additional 2 drivers. There's also a beeper on here. So if you like that beep, that can be a thing. I think there's an extra heater on here or something. Extra fans. So there's some extra capability that comes with it. I've just added on this cooler to cool the 5160s that are on here, and then added a cooler to the Pi. This is a full-size Raspberry Pi 4. Yeah, full-size Raspberry Pi 4. And so adding this monster into that machine, plus these parts here, I need to do that, which is an option. We can do that on stream Friday as well. But so far, I'm hearing 2 people want to see a rat rig, but if there are folks that want to see the inertia cube instead, I do need to get to that. So we can do an inertia cube instead, if that is your guys' preference. Again, it's going to be members only, so whatever you guys want. No. Put that Leviathan in the V0. It would actually work for the V0. It's got 2 main drivers and then 4 2209s on it. The main drivers could go for your AB motors, and then one of the other ones could go for your Z. It's overkill, but you could do it. You saw those on his Discord post. You want to see me do a stoppie on that bike? I did a stoppie on that thing accidentally once. I was in, so I have to do motorcycle training every 3 years. I think it's every 3 years. But so I go through the course, and this is like a 6-hour course or whatever. I go through the course, I had not slammed on brakes as part of the course for a 3-year period prior to, and I went a little too hot. The bike was pretty new at the time, and I had not gotten used to the amount of grab that the Brembos on that thing has, and put a little too much into it, and actually did a stoppie in the middle of the course. The instructor comes over and he's like, "Hey, I don't know if you meant to do that, but we don't do tricks in the class. This is supposed to be a safety course." And I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry. It was completely unintentional. Won't happen again." But yeah, I've done a stoppie exactly once, and it was not on purpose. Hard on forks. I don't know what that means. Put a big dump truck electronics backpack on it to fit it. I think a Leviathan will fit in there. Maybe not well, but I think it'll fit in there. Stunts in class, yeah, not on purpose. Not on purpose. All right, let's do this giveaway real quick, and then we'll move on with the rest of the build. We've got the gantry on, so I think the next portion is the print bed, which is also already installed. We just got to run the wires down in the correct places. Then they have us do print head, and I'm not ready to do that because I need someone to solder me up a Dragon Burner LED harness. I've got everything else built for the print head, but I don't have the harness. So we can install it, but then I'd have to tear it apart and do LEDs at a later time. Yeah, so print head goes on, and looking through the manual, sorry. After that, it's electronics and back panel, so that's kind of where we are. But if you're not in the giveaway, you need to get in the giveaway. I'm seeing 39 people and only 23 responses. So you guys have about, I don't know, a minute or so to enter the giveaway if you want to get into the giveaway. So fancy showing off. I don't show off. I'm not that kind of guy. But I do make mistakes all the time. And only 25 likes. Robin B, call them out. Get them. We should have 39 people here, 39 likes. That's the only way we're able to give away filament every week. So if you appreciate that, go ahead and give the stream a like. That keeps the filament going. Soldering time? Yeah, you're not wrong, Kitchell. I prefer not to. So I think Mike's going to help me out. Mike, please help me out. I don't want to solder or anything. Plus, Mike does it for a living. He does a lot of wiring and soldering. So if I can support him and save myself some heartache, I'm willing to do that. Almost didn't get your license because you exceeded the testing requirements. What do you mean exceeded? Were you like speeding? Sorry to ask, but what filament is the ABS Plus in the back? Aquazad, you can ask me anything you want. This is an open stream, and I appreciate every question. I need you to be more clear when you say ABS Plus in the back. Are you talking about the stuff behind me? This stuff back here? This is all from Sparta 3D. So Sparta 3D is a Canadian company that does sparkle and glitter filament. They've been doing it for a couple years. More recently, as Ambrosia came online in the US, it's more affordable for me to get the Ambrosia line of sparkle ABS than it is the Sparta because of international shipping costs or whatever. So this is all Ambrosia of some is sparkle, some is not. Some is dual color, some is not. This is all sparkle stuff here, except for these two. And then down here I've got some bamboo stuff. This is a company that's no longer making filament, filament 1, just some basic red ABS, ASA. And then going down the list that you can't see below, there's PETGs and PLAs and more bamboo ABS at the bottom. There's another rack over there, same size, that is full top to bottom. Above me, I got a rep rack that's full of PLA that I use for multicolor stuff and making stuff for the kids. You want to unsettle the front coming out of a turn 5 at Mid-America near Omaha, tank slapper. Steering stops dented. Ooh, wow. Loaded out. Clean my leg. Yeah, that's a scary one. I actually went down in February of 22. I broke 4 ribs on my left side. Jammed up the shoulder pretty good. had a mild concussion, and then down my left arm, I had some loss of feeling in my left arm. Like I couldn't move it. It was very tingly, that kind of thing. So I think I had like a pinched nerve or something, and mild concussion, if I didn't say that. So, and that was only doing 30 on a roundabout. Problem was I was riding in February, hit some black ice, went down. Basically, I had a low side with the front tire let go, and I just got body slammed to the concrete. So luckily it wasn't worse, but that's what I get for riding in the cold on cold tires. He was eyeballing that, something new to print with. I mean, yeah, it's a decent brand. Like I said, this was my go-to before Ambrosia came out. Ambrosia just makes more sense for me in the US now. Plus, they've got a lot more colors available. Not saying that Sparta is not good. The color selection, though, is slightly, like 5% less availability than Ambrosia. So I've made the switch. How long do we have to buy raffle tickets? Birdman, you can buy raffle tickets all the way up until the raffle itself, which happens that first or second week in November. So you have about 45 days-ish to get your raffle tickets. You know where they ask you to speed up, shift, and then come to a full controlled stop? They want you to speed up to 20. You were doing 50. Yeah. Yep. That's where I did my stoppie. Yeah, no worries, Birdman. All right. You've had enough warning. I went way over the minute that we were going to do. We only gained another 2 responses, so I'm going to close this giveaway. We're no longer accepting responses. So if you didn't get in, sorry. Better luck on Sunday. All right. Let me refresh the list here. For some reason, only 15 of those got put in. Let me figure this out real quick. Yeah, the spreadsheet didn't update properly. Huh. All right, let me try this a different way. So yeah, that spreadsheet did not work. So let's make a new one. And there we go. Now I got you. All right. So let me get you the wheel of names open. And we'll get you populated here in a second. All right, Nick was first in. Thank you, sir. Last person was Martin. Martin being late on the giveaway? What is the world coming to? All right, now move this over. There we go. Let's take you over here and let's get this giveaway going. All right. Hit me with some numbers. How many times are we shuffling this thing? John saying good luck, but I know secretly he wants to win. X Cybertech says 7. Kegel is 7. 54 from MJ? Come on. Trying to give me arthritis in my fingers. Peter Bucket says 42. Da Vinci says 42. I'm seeing a lot of 12s. Let's do 12. Seeing a lot of 12s today. Robin B wants 3. LTX says 6 though. MJ says yes. 11, 12. Akazad's, he's rigging the chat with all of his 12s. Mike says 11. 7 from Penguin Makers. All right, let's do 12. I'll follow your shenanigans. Let's do 12. All right, shuffled 12 times. Good luck, folks. Veritasium says 37. I like that dude. He's got a really good channel. I watch a lot of Veritasium. Oh, who's it gonna be? Is it Nick today? Yeah, buddy. Nick, if you're here, you gotta tag me in chat. I want to give you some LDO filament. Congratulations to Nick. I need you to tag me in chat. You already got your LDO filament? Great, Damascus. Yeah, sorry I missed you. I was like a week late sending in your information, so I do apologize. But I'm glad you finally got it. I'm not seeing Nick. Are we gonna have to pass this off to someone else? Could double the chances. You're already 30 seconds in. We only give you 69 seconds to respond. If Nick is not here, I'm not seeing him taggable in the chat. Spectra's back. Love it. Nick, I can tag you in the chat, but you need to respond. Spectre, you missed the fact that we got the gantry installed. We got the belts on. So we're to the point where we can start doing back panel and stuff like that. 3, 2, 1. Womp womp. Nick said you can have it. Well, Mike, you might just win. He just got removed from the wheel. I need new numbers so that we can shuffle and shuffle. Grab your raffle tickets and a chance to win Christmas V0. Spread joy to children throughout the year. Ref is not wrong there. We do have the raffle going on. We're going to give away the filament, and then we'll take a look at the website next. All right, I'm seeing 21s this time. Akozad won it last time, so I'm ignoring your 6s. 7, 7, 2. All right, I'm seeing a lot of 7s. Let's do 7. And good luck. Let's see if we can get a winner this time. Ooh, who's it going to be? AJC? AJC, are you here? AJC is the winner. You gotta tag me in chat. Sorry, I had to go. Terrible news in Michigan at a church. Oh no. I hope it's not what I think it is. AJC, yeah, beginner's luck. Congratulations, you're here. I see you. We're gonna give your information. I'm gonna give your email to Jason at LDO. He's gonna reach out to you. Him or someone on the team will reach out to you. You just need to confirm with them the color and type of filament you want, and they're going to get your address information and send you a spool of filament. Congratulations. Congratulations. So I'll do that after stream today. I'll pass off your information. If a week goes by and you do not hear anything from Jason, reach out to me on YouTube or any of the social medias or anywhere on Discord. Shoot me a message and be like, hey, I never got your filament. It's probably because I didn't send it and I forgot. So I'm trying to be very good about that. But if you do run into troubles, reach out to me and let me know. Great. So I do want to make sure that we tag the... let me get the link again. Take a look at the website over here. All right, this is your raffle. If you want to get in, if it's in your heart to donate to kids and make sure that they have something for Christmas, this is your way of doing that. Every raffle ticket you buy gets you an entry into the raffle giveaway, where we're going to give away over 19 items. So you have options. If you don't want to win anything, you can donate $4 and contribute in that way. And that gives every kid a toy at Christmas time. All right. This one here, you can win prizes. So every raffle ticket is $10. And you can see all of your prizes here. There are 19 different prizes that we've lined up with the help of vendors and sponsors. Folks like Armor 3D, 3D Printing Elves, and myself have donated printers and filament. And we're going to give it to you guys. So there's mine. There's the Prusa wire that we're going to give away. We're a little further along in the build. Lee Marie 3D is also giving away a baby belt printer. And there are a bunch of gift cards and stuff like that. So a little bit of something for everyone. Just scroll through the list, see what you like, and we'll do the raffle in roughly 45 days for you guys. So far, $300 raised. So thanks to everyone that's donated and or bought raffle tickets so far. Mike, the church is pretty close to you. I'm sorry to hear that, guys. It's a sad day every time we hear something like that, and I wish I could do more to fix it. It sucks. One of the people you follow on Twitch lives across the street, had to cut his stream short. Oh no. Wow. But guys, that's the raffle, or you can donate here if that is in your heart to do so. So cool. Definitely just wanted to show that off. And we'll get back to kind of our Kurigami setup here. We'll finish up the build a little bit. Yep, bang raffle in the chat. We'll get you the link to sign up. Thanks, Martin, for doing that. Cool. So we left off at this area here, roughly. So everything before this is toolhead and what's the other one? Toolhead that we're gonna do later, and getting the bed on, which we've already done. Okay. So realistically, we are here at the wiring stage, trying to get this back panel installed and getting our electronics in place. You do have this little fan bracket here. I think I have that printed. Yeah, I just need to add some heat inserts in there, so I need to do that. I forgot about that one. But that's going to help the Raspberry Pi stay cool. Every week you're going to get more tickets. You're all about putting money where it does good things. Mike, I will probably be donating. I am not able to participate in the raffle because I'm part of it. It would not be fair. So I plan to donate each week to help out. So raffle just went live today. You guys are getting in on the ground floor. We are first to announce it here. I think Reth and Voron Widow are posting it on all the socials, all the Discord channels that they are a part of. It would help out greatly if you all did the same and shared and liked and told people about the raffle and the stream. So thanks for doing that in advance. Sorry, wrong hole. Man, that I just don't know how to drink water today. Okay, so like I said, I'm planning on using this back panel, this EMS system, electronics mounting system. I plan to use that, and I need to add some heat inserts to the little fan mount. This will go right underneath the frame here and provide some airflow for whatever electronics in there. So I do need to add that in. So we'll break out the stealth press once again. Still get it warmed up. I don't know if you guys have a stealth press or not, but this thing is super nice. Like, I don't know why I waited so long. I had this extra bit of rail, I had some extra PETG and some hardware, and like a day of printing, and we already got a working stealth press. Heat inserts, there they go. I think I need 4. Use the Frax. I wish I had a Frax. That would be cool. I'd like to have one of those on the workbench to my left, so when we're doing overhead cam stuff, I can just bring that out and have a Frax arm there. Haven't gotten around to it. Those are the things that I don't focus on enough, to be honest with you. For me, I do like to stealth press for little individual parts, and then, you know, the Frax would just be an additional one. I need to get better at finishing projects, hence the channel. But if you want to see that kind of stuff, like building a Frax or whatever, that's what the membership is for. And hopefully I can keep that going and keep you guys getting value for your support. So as always, if you're a member, let me know what you want to see, and I'll do my best to accommodate. I've got a edamame I need to finish, and there's a 3D sets kit down by my feet that I need to do. There are other little projects and smaller things that we need to do with other printers around the shop. I need to get my LH Stinger working again. A couple of parts got broken in the move, and it's just been sitting on the shelf for the last year. I really need to get back to that build. I really like that printer. I think Lee Marie may be picking it up. Jeremy reached out and asked if I would be willing to part with it, and I said, nothing but my family is important, so if you're willing to coordinate the shipping and all the things to make it happen, I'm willing to help with that. So yeah, it'd be nice to get it back working and use it a couple more times before Jeremy comes and takes it home. What can we do with these? Let's tuck those up under there. All right. This is the part that is, I don't know, my favorite part. Putting the rear deck panel on. So I didn't unbox these last week because we were doing Prusa wire, but these are the panels that came with it. So you've already seen the bottom panel. Some of this stuff here, this is the top hat panel and or rear panels for the main portion of the printer. In here there are some that are clear acrylic and then some that are smoked. So this one is, I think this is the smoked acrylic. So there are options for what we want to do. So that is there, and those are not prepared. This is our rear panel. There's a lot of extra holes in here. I don't exactly remember what all those holes are for, but that's the panel we need. And then for our back panel, Happy Manufacturing was good enough to include one of these. This is your rear panel that I think I want to make it hinged, like so. And he cut in a bunch of hexagons in there for me. So really making it a super nice build. But this one, we still got to pull the paper off. If it were colder out here, I think today is supposed to go up to 83 degrees, which is really nice that it's cooling down. Right now, it's only 69 out, and that's not a joke. It's actually 69 degrees out. And I've been loving it. It's really been nice out here. If we're a little bit colder and this paper's difficult to get off, then what I would recommend is lightly heating it with a heat gun. You don't want to distort the acrylic, but if you heat it with a heat gun, it'll soften that glue that holds the panel on, or sorry, the paper on, without tearing it into a bunch of little pieces, which is normally what happens when that glue is too cold. So if you slightly heat it, it makes it easier. Or you can leave it out in the sun. That'll work too. Let's see. You're using it so you can put a big fan on the backside of the V0. Okay. You're going to Frax as well, Havoc. All right. Good stuff. So a couple people using Frax in the chat. As you can probably tell, this rear panel, I keep calling it a rear deck panel. This rear panel is smoked. So you'll be able to see all the way through the machine into the electronics bay, which is why I'm really focused on keeping things clean and neat, because you're going to be able to see it. There's no hiding it. But yeah, Happy recommended doing a smoke panel. I tend to agree, and so he hooked us up with a smoked panel. Very cool. I think this goes this way. Holes down at the bottom based on the picture I'm seeing in the manual. What I don't know is which direction. There are additional slots on this side and no additional slots here. I don't remember which way that goes, so I need to probably skip ahead in the manual to take a look at that. Yeah, so I just tend to place that in place. Place that in place, that's redundant. Turn this around so you can see. And then because it's smoked and because it's a little bit smaller, it makes it easier to align the no-drop nuts that we have installed. So I can just kind of see through the panel and see where things are. Move it out of the way and sort of align those no-drop nuts to where they need to be. And move this one down. Come on. Choose a actual tool. Looks sick. You like it, Revan? Well, Revan, I'm glad you like it because this could be yours. And I would hate for someone to win the V0 and just hate it. Like that's definitely in the back of my mind. That, you know, someone's not going to like the theme, or they're not going to like some of the choices we made in hardware, and so they choose not to enter. And I would say that that's probably not the end of the world, but there are chances to win other things, so it doesn't have to be a V0. I don't know if there's capacity to swap. Like let's say you win the V0 and you're like, oh, I actually don't want that, I want a different price. Like, I don't think we're gonna do that, so whatever you get is what you got. With that in mind, it does make me become a little more conservative on the choices that I would have made. I think a couple of weeks ago someone suggested that we do the 24/7 build. And while I would do that on my personal machine, I don't know that I would do that for a machine we're going to give away. Alright, so that one comes down a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why. This is my favorite part, is when we start putting panels on a printer. It means we're getting close to being done. We can start printing with it. Okay. So let me skim through the manual here and make sure that we have it on correctly, and that, okay, so yeah, the side with the extra holes, as you can see in the manual here, this section here, the extra hole should be to the left, the double circle hole should be at the bottom. All right, and that's how we have it, just by luck of the draw. So we look pretty good there, and then we're going to use M3x6s to secure the back panel. For the Raffle, we are unable to do a price swap. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I don't know that there's capacity in the system to be able to do that. And as I'm talking through it too, like the printer builds are probably going to be some of the last things that we give away, and so there might not be anything to swap it with. So for what it's worth, all the prizes are top notch, and everyone coming together to make this happen deserves applause. I wish I had an applause button to do that for you. Yeah, but I agree. Everyone coming together, all the different streamers, donating time, effort, some resources to make this happen. Reth and Voron Widow for doing a lot of behind the scenes work to set up the raffle, make it legal, figure out the tickets, and do a lot of the sponsorship stuff as well. Like, shout out to them for making it a reality. There's a lot of people that made this happen. What do we need? We need button heads, yeah? Some 6s. Let's see what we got in the kit. There's some 8s over here. Probably some 6s as well. Let's see. Yeah, these are all 6s, so these will work. Yeah, I remember my first V0 build, my personal one. It was not fun for me. This one, I don't know if I just am more experienced building. This one's actually fun. My first one, I just never really got printing well, and it made me regret my choices. And so pretty quickly after that, I got a Trident kit and built my first full-size Voron, and that was a lot more enjoyable. So going back to the V0 after this, while it's still sort of fresh in my brain, I may go back and do that. It didn't take a ton of time. I have been doing maybe an hour or two before work in the mornings, and then on Saturday, this past Saturday, I did a significant amount of time, something like 5 or 6 hours out here yesterday to get it to this point. And so the build has happened a lot easier than I thought it would. I'm wondering about what those extra holes are for, though. I'm not doing that. A DIN cleat. You get a VHB and you get a VHB. If you not want to use DIN clips and cleats, you can alternatively attach the board mount directly to the mid panel. Yeah, I'm not doing that. DIN cleats. Click, click. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing that. Self tappers through. Input switch. Okay. So it wants us to do that, but again, we're going to use that EMS. So let me pull that open. See if we can get the EMS going. Oh, did I have that open somewhere? Top hat braces, cats. So this was the Z-axis we did. If you're unfamiliar, you're new here, kind of following along. If you're looking for the Z-axis, this is it here. I'll drop this in chat for those that may want it. Open up the right window here. So there's your Z-axis. And we can close that out because we are done. These are the braces I'm going to add to the top hat and to the bottom of the forward extrusions. The other one is, let's see, what was it called? Let's see, clips, panel clips. These are the clips we're going to do for the panels on the outside. And that's just going to make it nicer for removal. Makes it a lot easier. I also don't need to put a whole bunch of nuts in the frame. So I like this a little better. We're going to do that. It kind of fits with the stealth skirts a little better too. But what I need is his V0 other stuff. So the V0 back panel. I should have had this open already and I failed to do that. So we'll just take a second and find it again. Like that. So this is the system that I'm using for the electronics. We'll add that in there. So if you guys want that one. All right, so this is a picture of what that's going to look like. How are we mounting this though? That's the question. How do I make it stick to the frame? Installation instructions. Okay. Which hex mounts do I need? So I need 6 A's, 2 for the cable duct, which I did not do yet, and then 4 for the cable duct with the clipper board support. Yeah, I think I need that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So break out that stealth press again. We'll add in 4 more heat sets for this stuff. Yeah, I know a lot of folks like to go through and just put heat inserts in everything. I kind of do that. So like the main parts that I know, like tool head, AB motor mounts, XY mounts, carriages most of the time, I'll go through and put the heat inserts, but the accessory stuff, I kind of don't until I need it, because I need to think through what that looks like. Sometimes when you're doing accessories, the heat insert holes are not as clear where they go as they are on the more official parts. And so instead of making a mistake, which I've done before, I tend to wait to put those in later. Those 2 and 2 more here. This cable channel is actually really exciting. I like this. I like a 3D printed cable channel versus the one that you can buy and install. Usually those have to be stuck on with VHB tape, so if you ever want to change it, it's a pain in the butt to change your cable raceways. Whereas if they're printed, you could put holes in it and use DIN clips or whatever other kind of mount to reposition them around. You can also modify them as well. Not really the case with the extruded ones. I wish more build guides had all the heat insert screws. I wish they did, yeah. So if that were a thing in the build guide, Mike, I would probably follow along and do all of those. But not all of the build guides do that. And so that's probably why I do it the way I do it. I'd rather do it as I go versus like figuring out what goes where and doing it as, you know, all in the beginning. Okay, so we did the heat inserts, and then it says mount the cable duct and electronic mounts to the frame outside of the printer. To the frame outside of the printer. What does that mean? So I'm looking at the instructions here. Step 2, mount the cable duct and electronics mounts to the frame outside of the printer. Do you highly recommend a belted Z for the V0? AccoZad, this is the first time I'm using it, so I don't know if I recommend it or not. What I will say is that it seems to be a better, I don't know, a better solution. So if I think about the way things sort of line up, I've already got 2 linear rails that go vertically. Those need to be parallel to one another and parallel to one another, you know, in and out this way. And so I've got 2 planes that I need to align those in. That's already one constraint. And then I add a Z screw that just moves vertically up and down, and that needs to also be in alignment. And so I've got these 3 alignment points that I'm working with, and so a screw tends to introduce that. With a belt, there's still a little bit of movement there in the belt itself, and so now I'm only worried about the 2 planes on the rails themselves. So theoretically it should move and work a little better than a screw, but I haven't tried it in real life. So as soon as I know, I'll let you know, and we will print with this machine before we give it away, so you'll have to catch another stream on it. But quality of life wise, I prefer a belted Z than a screw Z any day of the week, and that goes for any printer as well. I would prefer a belted Z. You didn't do that and wonder if you should. I mean, you can redo it. You can just undo what you have and put a belted Z on there. Mount your things to the plate before you mount them. Yeah, that's what I'm figuring out, Mike. So as I read it aloud 2, 3, 4 times and say it and think about it in my brain, I think that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, what he said. You recommend a Bluetooth. Bluetooth Z would be great, Kegel. It's hard to get your fingers behind the EMS once it's installed. Agree. So I remember doing this on my Trident as well, because that runs inverted electronics and it's got an EMS on the bottom. Makes it super nice to mount all the things. I wish there was one for the inertia cube, but that build is still in beta, so it's changing. I think the frame is pretty solid. You could probably get away with doing it, but right now, no. What I don't know is like which direction this plate should go. So I'm just looking at the photos. It appears that these bump outs go down against the printer because that provides the support. So we should mount electronics on this side where these pockets are located. And also I believe those pockets are there so that I can put hardware in there and have it be below the plane of the rest of this. I want to say it goes this way. That way there's like a table. All right, so first things first, I need a pie. What are we running in this? I know that the one I showed a bit ago is for the Prusa wire, so I cannot use that one. But I do have this one here. This is your Big Tree Tech with a Pi 4 adapter. It's got a CB2 on there. But that's not the one that I had lined up for this. Where did it go? Let me check one box. I'll be right back. I know that Reth and I had talked about doing a CB1 on it, and he gave me one to include. I'm just not positive on where I put it at the moment. So you guys may end up getting the CB2, barring any location for it. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll give you the CB2 2.2. So it'll be the newest one with the USB, sorry, the Pi 4 adapter on it, which will allow you to run a DSI screen. I know we were talking about wave share screens earlier. This one will accept that through the bottom here. And then you have a couple of HDMI outputs for other things and stuff. So we'll end up doing this one. So remembering from the manual, I believe this goes USB ports down. Like so. Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. Let's bring this down just a touch so we can see what's going on about there. Bluetooth Z, no belts or screws, wireless and impossible. Correct. Yeah, Reverend, they're making jokes about having wireless printing. Okay, now I just need those clips. What would help on this build is to have a photo of where these things should go. So I've got the 6 A's that they recommended and the 1B. I don't know if I was supposed to print more than 1B, but here we are. Let's see. I think this goes... Let's see if we can find something on the page here. Expand, install, okay. Remove the right side panel, look in the printer, slide in the board, secure the frame with 4 12s, okay. Mount the electronics board using 4 M2 self-tapping screws per board. That's different. And then mount, so wire the printer back up, attach the cable duct lid, it's done. Wish there were more photos. Let's look at what they got in the makes section here. How do they have theirs laid out? Okay, so they're using SKR. All right, I think this is what I needed here. Okay. So they have it with self-tapping screws, though? I did not see... Oh, the brackets, I see. I got it, okay. So we have to mount it to the brackets and the brackets to the thing. Got it, all right. That's what I was missing. I don't know that I printed all the brackets. I do have a Pi bracket over here. But it doesn't have the mounting pattern. It doesn't have the mounting pattern we need for the EMS. And I'm pretty sure that I broke and threw away the one for the Pico. So I think we'll probably have to pause here, folks, until I can print these parts. But in the meantime, we can print these parts. So we're getting to the 3-hour mark anyway, which is kind of where I like to be. And so let me slice up these parts. This is on the carbon. I think I have white in the carbon. You're not going to see these parts anyway, so I think we'll just print them from white. Sounds expensive. Can't we just have flying cars? Dude, okay, go maglev Z. That would be awesome. If I had maglev Z on the rat rig, that would be cool. I know that Theopoly, for their Magneto X, they were offering it at one point some magnetic linear rail type replacement thing. I don't know if that ever became available. I did see that it was pretty expensive. but I don't know if that ever become available. All right, let me find these parts. I know I downloaded the whole repo from Fizzy's Tech, and so I believe those parts would be there. Let's see, upgrade. Where's my Fizzy's Tech stuff? All right, we'll do this the hard way and we'll just search it. FT, there we go. Let's go in here. And that. Pico mount, Pi mount, and should be what we need. Let's bring those in. No. All right. These are the parts. Select all of those and make them some ABS. Right now I have it set for standard profile. Let's change over to my actual one for these. And then what I'll do is, because they're just brackets, we don't need them to be 40% infill. I generally take things down to 25% and keep the same walls. For quality wise, let's change that back. I'll do some other options here. Elephant's foot, sure. Sure. Arachne, sure. Strength wise will be good. Partial, I'm gonna do thick walls all the way up that way. They're as strong as possible. There's some sloping areas in it where the M2 screw mounts connect to the rest of the bracket. And so let's see, should be good. We'll turn off all of the brim stuff and we'll slice that up and see what it takes. 37 minutes. Not too bad. I should have thought about this earlier. I completely did not. And we'll send this over to the X1 carbon. I'm going to turn on the heater. Yes, I added a chamber heater to my X1 carbon before Big Tree Tech came out with their Panda Breath. And if we turn on the video here, you'll be able to see it in the background. So that chamber heater does the same function as the one on the H2D. I set it to 45 degrees. That seems to be good for the X1 carbon. For whatever reason, the H2D heats the chamber up to 60. So that's a thing. All right, I'm not gonna hang out and wait for this to finish. So let's close the loop on a few things. I'll show a few things off on what we have. Let me just clean up the desk. We got a few new things in the shop. And so I like to keep you guys engaged in what's going on here. We'll explore it more for members. Hey, Jason, always getting here right at the tail end, man. We're about to wrap this thing up. I got about 10 minutes or so left. And so this is the point in the stream where I like to talk about next steps, future things, stuff I want to get after, and what we're going to do. So here at a good time, but also here late. No, you didn't miss much. We can recover some stuff over here. Let me give you a recap. So to recap, this is what we worked on. We're going to do the Fizzy's Tech install for the V0. We're going to use this CB2, and then we're going to use a Pico. So Pico will be over here, right? We'll have a cable duct in the middle, and on top of that, we'll add the clipper expander so we can do LEDs and that kind of stuff. All right, just make it very nice for you all. Aside from that, some of the other stuff that we have done on stream today is, let's move some stuff, make some room, is we've got the printer very far along at this point. Let's move this in the frame, move that out of the way. We've got the gantry installed. We've got belts on and tensioned somewhat. Got the bed on. We just installed that rear panel here so that we can mount our electronics, and that is a smoked panel. So you'll be able to see through all the way. I believe this back panel The rear closing panel is also smoked, from what I remember. And then Happy carved in a bunch of hexagons because they're the best. And we'll make that on a hinge door that opens and closes so you can get access if you need it. Custom deck panel to support the non-profit. So 3D Printing Elves is the sponsor of the build by donating the base printer that we're using and modifying. So reach out to them. The raffle also went live today. So if you're interested in taking this home, you can win it in the raffle. Raffle was $10 for one entry. And I think, what, 6 for 50 or something like that. I forget what it was. But if you buy more tickets, you get more entries. And that raffle is going to run for the next 30 to 45 days. And we'll give this thing away before Thanksgiving sometime. So a couple months away. There are 19 prizes on this raffle that you can win. This is just one of them. So if you want to win this, $10. But that's what we did today. I'm ready to move on and talk about things that we're going to do. So we're talking about member streams. I think Inertia Cube has to be a member stream. We're going to install these tensioners here. And that's for double shear. These are the tensioners for the front. And I need to tear that apart and redo that. So that's a thing. What else did we get in the shop today? Got one of these. Got one of these in the mail last night. So if you know what this is, yeah, there you go, Mike. 1 for 10, 6 for 50. Got one of these in the mail last night. So if you guys know what this is, just dropped this weekend at 3D Printopia. You're gonna get one? You should. So if you want to take a look at it, we can look at it real quick. Give you guys a peek behind the curtain. So this is the CNC kit from LDO. I haven't gone through it. I just opened the box. But I did notice it comes with this checklist. So it says basically verify all your parts. These are the parts in the kit. Go through and make sure you got everything. And if you don't, reach out to the person you bought it from and they can get you what you need. But, you know, typical LDO fashion, they have baggies that are all labeled very clearly about what you get. These are standoffs for the kit. There are pulleys in here. You've got more bearings in here, so 695s because that's standard. There's also, I tend to upgrade, so I ended up getting some Berserker bearings for my build. This will go on the green V2. These are green ceramic bearings, and I thought that would be a nice touch, even though you'll never be able to see the green on these. But those will go in there. What else we have? These look like Trident bracketry of some kind. And then let's just tear it out. You get your double shear front mounts. I went ahead and got the ones for a V2.4. That's why you see the grooves in the brackets. But the grooves don't matter because you could still use it with a Trident. So get the beautiful black finish on it. Do I know how it tensions the belt? I don't know off the top of my head. I have not installed this yet. I literally just got this last night, about 8 o'clock, because the delivery people like to deliver late around here. But there are tensioners in the kit. And so my guess is that there's a front tensioning system of some kind. And that tensioning system is how you would tension your belts. At least that's how it is for my Seabore Trident 350, which is also Quad XY. All-wheel drive, whatever you want to call it. So that's that kit. The other one, so we're going to do a compare-contrast here in the future, and we're going to have a very special guest. Vitali is going to come on and talk about his kit and the pros and cons. And so this is his kit. And I'll give a little preview. That's his kit. So his is sort of sandblasted aluminum instead of being anodized. The difference that I'm already seeing is that his uses live idlers. So you have bearings where your idlers are, with pins that go through, versus on the LDO kit, they're using the double T-pin style, so like this. So your bearings will go on here. You'll still have a screw that goes through these pins, and the bearings will ride on this. So two different ways of doing the same thing. Live idlers with bearings in the top and the bottom. These do not have idlers, or sorry, bearings in the top and the bottom. You'll just have a screw that goes through, and your bearings will slide along the shaft of the standoff. So that's kind of the difference between the two that I'm noticing right now. This one is built for, I think what Vitaly sent me was for a V2.4. And yeah, so that's that. Here are the brackets. So same setup, right? So these are for a 2.4. Can be backwards compatible with a Trident. You'll just have this detail in there. So I think the kits are relatively the same. The only difference is that your 2.4 will come with some Z-axis parts, and your Trident will not. So that's these brackets. These are double shear, so this would be a top plate. There's room here to put your double shear bearing and then your retainer. This looks like it's the right side, so the A motor bracket, because there's a in-stop mount right there. But yeah, this is from Vitaly. So depending on what you like, there's something for everyone. And I'm excited to put both on and test out both. To be continued on when that happens. This will likely have to be a member stream because it'll be odd hours, odd time. But yeah, pays to be a member. That's what's new in the shop around here this week. Yeah. What other questions do you guys have? Anything? Oh, also, that's new. So these are SLM ant head parts. I know some folks said that they didn't like ant head, but this is a carriage for ant head. So these are all SLM from nylon. Sorry, not SLM, SLS. SLS nylon. So got those in as well for ant head. I think these are going to go on my Trident like I was talking about. I do want to do A4T, but I need to do ant head on something, and so I'm still trying to figure that out. Figure out what that's going to go on. What else? What else? Oh, this is the extruder. So I got a G2 wristwatch extruder. So building on that, put that together this morning. That's also SLS nylon. And I think that's about all the new stuff that I can show. If you guys don't know, there's a new tube out. So if $250 for a hot end is outside of your price range, there's a mini tube now. It's called the Tube Compact. And if you've seen my short on YouTube, I've had that in the antithesis for at least 3 months. And I'll tell you, it's by far the best hot end that I've used. Not only does it rigid mount, super compact, but it also runs a PT1000. I don't have to worry about PTC heaters. It uses a standard cartridge size, so you can change whatever wattage you want. And then the melt zone is longer than what you would find in a Rapido, but it's the size of a Rapido. So, don't forget to hit you up on Discord. Don't remember things. I will hit you up as soon as we wrap up stream here. So parts are printing, things are going. Sorry, wrong button there. Things are printing on the X1 Carbon. We're kind of at a standstill on the build until we get that done. But we got pretty far along today. Gantry's on the V0. Belt is on the V0. I'll get the electronics installed behind the scenes and start cleaning up some of the stuff. Again, if we're going to get this out on time, I got to do work behind the scenes. So for those that care and are members, I will be posting on Shorts progress updates. So keep an eye on the community tab on YouTube. and that's where you'll find updates throughout the week. Is there a step file so you can adapt it to the Dragon Burner toolhead? Kegel, yes, although I'm not sure that the integration CAD is available yet. I know that you can get these from a few different locations, so your and my favorite both. If you go to, let's see, Tube Compact, this is the hot end here. It's $140 if you buy it from Luke's Lab. And it comes with the heater cartridge, the thermistor, a bunch of screws and stuff like that. But I've been running on this on Antithesis for a couple of months. And I'm seeing with PLA about 35 to 38 millimeters cubic on the flow rate. With ABS, I'm seeing over 45. And this thing is the size of a standard flow Rapido. But it's repairable and it's made from titanium, so it'll last you basically forever. If you want a little bit of a discount, what I would recommend is that you check out the guys over at West 3D, and they've got it right now for the same 140, but with code 3DP25 this weekend only, it'll take 5% off, and that'll be the lowest that you find anywhere. So what's 5% of 140? I think it's like 15 bucks. Let's check my cart. Let's see. It's in there. Whatever 5% off of that is, you'll get that. So that'll be the lowest price on the internet if you get it from West 3D. Not a sponsor of the channel, and I get no cuts. Just giving you the information if you want to get one. It's available for pre-order. I think Luke is saying November for delivery. 133. Thanks. So you get $6 off the cost, again, which is the lowest anywhere. Delivers in November, so keep in mind it is a pre-order. If you order it with other items, that entire order is going to be delayed. So what I would recommend is that you order it solo and then order separately any of the other items that you want. But Kegel, I think there already is a Dragon Burner adaptation. If you want, I can send that adaptation for you and save you some CAD work. Just let me know real quick before we shut down stream here if you want that. I have no problem sending it over to you. There's also hot ends already out there because, again, we were beta testing it for the last 6 months. From what I remember, there are hot ends for Reaper already, Dragon Burner, A4T, Antithesis because I made it, Stinger because I made it, and several other things. So if you guys are interested in picking one up and want the tool head for that, I will share it with you. Just keep in mind, not all of them are my designs. They belong to other folks, and so it'll come with credit for those folks. But I'll send it to you. So cool, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're at the 3-hour mark. This is usually where I wrap up the stream anyway. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to go get some family time in, do some organization around here, finish up this little bit of a V0 here, and prepare for tearing down the rat rig on Friday, because I think that's what the majority wanted to see. So I'll put another poll out there with some options on what you guys want to see as members. Go in there, do me a favor, go in there, vote for what you want to see. Right now, off the top of my head, I'm thinking rat rig, I'm thinking inertia cube, I'm thinking box turtle build, maybe. Put some options out there for you, and whatever you choose is what we will work on Friday morning. Sound good? So thanks for everyone for coming out. Thanks for hanging out, chatting, winning some filament, and participating. Congrats to those that became members today. Please do your best to go out and share that raffle. We want to get it as wide and as far as possible to help kids this Christmas. So thank you again for doing all the things. Enjoy your weeks, guys. Try to make the best of a bad situation. I know the world is crazy right now, so appreciate you all. Kegel, I'll get back with you. Mike, I will get back with you. And if I owe anything to anybody else, please reach out to me because I already forgot. All right? So enjoy your Sundays. Talk to you all Friday.